What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Elite Encounters and our complete playthrough of Paizo's Bloodlord's Adventure Path for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I'd like to give a special welcome back to the Elite. That's everyone out there that is following our content on Twitch and subscribing to our content on YouTube. We are currently simulcasting on YouTube tonight, so be sure to tune in. If you're not already, be sure to hit those follow and subscribe buttons on those respective channels. Also, while you're there, be sure to check the links to our website, elite-encounters.com, where you can find all kinds of information about our content, where to find our Patreon, and if you want to throw a little financial support our way, you can hit that Patreon and check out those tiers there for various physical rewards and interactive rewards as well. I also want to give a special thanks out to PopCon organizers. This last weekend we were at PopCon in Indianapolis, and we had a lot of people come through and meet us, I think for the first time, hang out and play bar fights for bonding. And I want to thank everyone who came by to say hello, to engage in those games, and all those new followers and subscribers out there. So thank you very much for popping in, and we hope to see you next year, especially those 3 winners of those 3-day badges. Now is about the time where I give out skull bones.
I like skull bones.
Yeah, you might need them. Let me grab those.
You can't say shit like that.
Might need them.
Might.
Need them to get our friend back, or...
A friend?
Well, I guess maybe he isn't our friend.
We're missing a friend.
Okay, so I'm going to start over here to this table.
What?
And
Care to
pass
share?
these
Check.
to this group.
Share? Hell no, I need these more than you do.
And if you could pass that to Bass over there. And then if you could pass that to Mike over there. Okay, so that's our skull bones. So
Traders don't get skull bones.
Yeah, traders don't get skull.
Only heroes get hero points.
So skull bones are what we use for our hero points here at Bloodlord. So this is a physical token that we use to turn in. Whether you want to force a reroll, if you think your roll is not going to do well and you want to change that, pass in your skull bone and get a reroll. You can force me to reroll if you think I rolled too well, not in your favor. Or you can turn in all your skull bones at once to avoid death. All right, Joseph. I
hope you did that last episode. Turned in all your skull bones to avoid death.
I think in that situation, that wouldn't have worked. Speaking of that situation, we'll do a recap. But before we do that, I want to do my favorite segment of the show. Actually is where we talk about some rules, clarifications, or maybe some things that I goofed up on, and I want to make sure I get them right going forward. This time, this one's on me. Not really a huge mistake, because it ended up working itself out in the wash. But Jenny, you may remember Ophelia was doing a recall knowledge on a monster. Mm-hmm. I think you said, "What the fuck is that?" or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's generally how I phrase it.
Yeah. So generally, a question like, "What the fuck is that?" is a recall knowledge that takes an action. Okay, so
yes.
Recall knowledge in general. You take an action to think about what you might know from your past experiences, your past studies. It does take a few seconds of time to dig through your mind to find that, right? If you are successful with that check, you can spend another action to make another roll at a slightly higher DC. They start scaling up. And every time you make a check, you get a new piece of information. All the way up until you do a very hard DC. I'm sorry, not very hard, incredibly hard DC. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar, incredibly hard DC is basically the basic difficulty of the task at hand plus 10. Right? It's pretty hard. If you succeed at that, you get some of the most esoteric information about that subject possible, and you can't really learn anything else. But it takes a while to get there. It's 4 or 5 successful checks, and each time it goes up higher and higher and higher.
So basically you have to spend 4 or 5 rounds.
Here's the thing, is that really beneficial to do that in combat?
Especially if your initial rolls are not giving you anything and they feel like good rolls, then maybe that's the time to go, this is a very unique creature and I'm not going to be able to learn.
So, and that's the rub there. So recall knowledge has a couple of different functions. Sometimes you might be researching a subject, whether it's some spell lore, or you're spending time talking to somebody and trying to get information about something you're after or hunting down. So in that situation, this is not really a combat application of the recall knowledge check, okay? However, you can use recall knowledge for creature identification, and this is where it gets a little different, and this is where I think we got our wires crossed, Jenny, on last time. When you identify a creature successfully, you automatically learn not only what the fuck it is, but something important about that creature, right?
Okay.
For example, if it's a troll, like it's pretty famous that trolls can regenerate, and you stop that by killing them with fire.
Kill it with fire.
Right? That's a kind of a normal, like most adventurers worth their salt will know that. So if you succeed at recall knowledge, I think it was maybe those sewer oozes or something. I can't remember what exactly. But you would have learned just from succeeding that they were like immune to acid. Okay?
Yeah.
If you get a critical success, you learn a different piece of esoteric information that I'll dig into the monster stat block and give you something like weird about it, like a weakness or a special attack it might have. Then once you get that one roll, that's all for one action. Okay. If you decide you want more information, you can spend an extra action, say, now I'd like to know what is it weak to, and then you do another recall knowledge at a slightly higher DC, and then it follows those rules, right?
Nice.
Where we got messed up is when you succeeded at the creature, I didn't give you that piece of immune to acid information right off the bat. But when you made the second check, I gave you 2 pieces of information, so it's kind of like the same. But I want to make sure I'm doing it right, because you may not want to waste those actions. You may just want to take the one, and I'm going to give you something and something about it that is they're kind of famous for. And I've already
Well, those sewer oozes were definitely unique.
For sure.
yes, they were they were a variant type of sewer ooze that were growing specifically in moldy old beer vats. So yeah, do with that what you will. So that's what I had for actually, is just to kind of fine tune how I'm going to give you information and recall knowledge. So I'm going to kind of make sure I'm following the rules as written. You can check that on player. I don't have the reference. Usually I have a player core reference, but yes, sir.
So in the interest of also fairness, right? So looking at Blazing Armory, it's come to my attention that I have been playing it wrong.
Oh.
So Blazing Armory, it doesn't matter for traders. It doesn't matter regardless. He doesn't get anything. But it says that the target must have a free hand. So when I was going to give it to Mert, if he was holding two-handed onto his weapon, the weapon I would materialize would fall onto the ground. It doesn't actually replace his weapon with a fiery weapon. It makes a fiery weapon that he needs to have a free hand to hold, or the weapon will fall on the ground, and then he needs to pick it up or.
But very easy thing for you to call out.
Sure.
And I can free action to just go into one hand and hold my bastard sword, whatever, in the one hand, and then I've got both.
Yep.
And I can drop and start my next turn or whatever I need to do. But yeah, easy thing to communicate to your party and say, get ready.
And also, if I just didn't suck at rolling initiative and I would go first, you may or may not already have your weapon in your hand.
Sure, that's true.
Well,
Or there may be certain situations where something like a flaming weapon might be more advantageous.
Yep.
Like that troll we spoke of just a second ago.
Yep.
That would definitely be time to whip out the armory.
Or if you're imprisoned and you don't have weapons, it would just materialize weapons into your hand.
That's huge.
That's major.
Right.
Okay.
Or even just going into a potential combat.
Yeah, where you need to have subterfuge and not be carrying armaments in.
Yep.
I think another thing that's worthwhile to consider is, for Mert that uses a lot of two-handed weapons, to put that one-handed thing back into my two hands to swing really hard, that's an interact. So potentially, if we run into more and more creatures that have reactive strike, that could be bad for me. I might want to not do that.
For sure.
All right, so that certainly opens up a lot of strategy thought.
I know, we're putting the pieces together.
Yeah. And it may
figure
come
it
into
out at
play
some
tonight.
point.
I don't know. But before we get to tonight's...
He says,
I mean,
turn to the page
we do
where
have
we're
a
in prison.
trader sitting at the
Oh,
table
jeez.
currently.
Okay, well, we'll get there. To be fair, Joseph is not a traitor.
Yeah, I'm still your boy Joseph. Come on, guys.
I just play a trader on TV.
That's right.
Okay, fine.
Don't confuse the actor with the character.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Hey, he's so...
But you are a traitor.
Oh. Man.
So what happened last week to get us to that point where we're giving this...
It's called
this
method
grief?
acting, okay?
Yes, you have to become the traitor.
That's right.
What got us to this point to hate Joseph so much? Well, first of all, the party had just finished defeating Kepgetta the Hagnailed, and started recovering gear from her, identifying equipment, some keys, and then they went over to talk to Alton Mira, an underappreciated member of the Export Guild. You agreed to escort her to Berlin so that she can disclose her plans to reveal those food shipping routes to Kepgetta in exchange for making her a part of her coven.
Right.
And at the time, you thought, well, that's probably good for her to give her that information. But before you decide to release her, you went ahead and decided you're going to take care of making sure all the rest of the Crooked Coffin Tavern and Brewery was clear of all threats. And you explored around, found Kepgetta's personal quarters. Inside, you found another key to the Great Urge Bank that she had taken from the Bone Shards gang.
Yep.
You also found a spacious pouch in the cultist barracks there, along with some of those now infamous red cloaks with a three-fingered hand symbol. Exploring further, you ended up agitating those oozes in the moldy beer vats, and that set off a battle between you guys and 4 of those disgusting creatures that immediately prompted a "what the fuck are those?" from Ophelia. But you defeated him. I mean, it took a little while, and it was a disgusting fight, but definitely it went in your favor.
Yeah.
And then you went back, got Alton Mira, and escorted her to Berlin right away because you thought this information she needs to get to Berlin is extremely important because this may indicate, it's this idea of poisoning quick is gone beyond Great Urge and to Geb as a whole and potentially outside of Geb's borders, which is a major problem. So she decided that she would take Alton Mira in and get this information out of her and be sure that she was rewarded appropriately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw what all that entailed.
Well, we knew we weren't going to see her in her state that we found her in.
In her true form.
That's
Let's
true.
just say
Maybe
the
Mert was
state that
hopeful
we found her
that,
in.
But Berlin also
Initially.
told you that she had arranged a dinner meeting with Governor Tafkekta Seven Stomachs, and to meet in a couple days at the governor's mansion. At the dinner, you guys spent some time recounting what you had done in the city because the governor was curious to know what's been really going on under his nose. And so you kind of, began telling him, okay, your exploits at Old Irga's farm, the Great Urge Bank, the Bone Shards hideout, etc., etc. And then Mjörk came in and passed a surreptitious message to Berlin. And shortly thereafter, a group of soldiers returned with Mjörk. And Berlin proclaimed Zareth, who she was now calling Amon Tahir, I'm saying that right, I think? Amon Tahir, okay.
Yep.
She didn't know because she had only seen it in written missives, so she wasn't sure how to pronounce it. So.
Yeah, no.
It's not Amon to you.
Amon Amarth.
Yeah.
Amon to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Amon to you.
Take the words out of my
Oh,
mouth.
wow, okay. I'll remember it that way now.
But we were
Amon to
not onto him.
No.
You were
At
not.
all.
We are now.
Yeah.
We are now.
True.
Maybe.
Side note, Joseph has been cooking on that for weeks. So
Before I even joined the show.
so shout out to Joseph
Yeah,
for
so good.
clever
It's so
You're
good.
going into the scrying pool.
Character
Actually, you know what? We have a new room for you.
He's going into the scrying pool.
It's right next to the scrying pool, so you can listen to the gurgling as you fall asleep.
Well-
It's called a cell.
So-
I don't know if we'll get the opportunity to punish him because I'm sure that whatever Berlin has in store will be
Far worse than we're
Yes.
going to be able to
I
do.
just said it was a new room.
true.
Well, who is going to go in that new room, we'll find out. But
That's
Amon
right.
Tahir was named a traitor and taken into custody. Who we knew as Zareth had some kind of outburst, shouting down with Geb and Pharasma will overcome, etc. And in that outburst was knocked out cold. When he did, he slumped forward and a necklace fell out of his tunic, bearing that holy symbol of Pharasma, the Lady of Graves.
Yeah, after he cast vitality at one of the
Yeah.
guards.
Yes.
You know what? Maybe we all know, but maybe all the viewers don't. It might be worth running through that, vitality energy, positive
Yeah,
energy
that's a great
is
point.
illegal in Geb because it's a nation of undead.
Absolutely.
And worshipping Pharasma would be very dangerous.
Yes, and the quick in Geb are very, subjugated, right? They're not allowed to gather in large parties, and yeah, any kind of use of vitality energy would be kind of an affront to the powers that be, right?
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yep, very good point. The dead
So
laws
what-
prevail.
What Zareth did was very illegal and very dangerous.
Yes, and
Very dangerous for him.
we'll see if he
Yes.
paid the price or not, because we're going to fast forward just a little bit. We're starting book 2, and during this time, about 4 weeks has passed since this fateful dinner with Governor Seven Stomachs. It is now Oath Day, the 21st of Gozran, 4722, where we pick up today with the very first episode of book 2 of Bloodlords.
Let's go.
Okay, so I know that we've kind of talked off air, like what some of you guys are doing over the last several weeks. I know some people have been earning an income. I think Ophelia has been crafting away at some alchemical items, et cetera, et cetera. So, and we also should remind everyone that you guys are now level 4.
Yep.
So we're going to see some interesting new abilities hit the table soon enough. But first, as always, Berlin has arranged a dinner meeting at Bloodstone Manor to come by and discuss some of what she's uncovered in this last several weeks. She has been a very busy person. As you can imagine, she has had some things to deal with, some people to deal with. But she is also
She's got this.
she's also very much wanting to find out what is going on with Kepgetta and this crew.
She's dead.
Kepgetta is dead, but there was something bigger at hand, right? Something bigger than
Okay,
Kepgetta.
yes.
So Berlin Haldoli, she arrived for supper a few hours ago, but dinner wasn't served until everybody had a chance to kind of have a long chat, kind of catch up on the local gossip, talk about the who got married recently, share some recipes, etc., etc. And also she commented on how the estate is coming along, the landscaping, the decorating, the cleanup of this place. Because when you first found this,
Pretty bad.
it wasn't in the greatest shape.
Sucked.
But I'm sure over the last several weeks, you guys have had plenty of time to reorganize, redecorate, and clean this Bloodstone Manor, as it is now called. Once supper was underway, Berlin was served by 2 skeletal maids. You already know that Alton Mira was accompanying her at the governor's mansion. She now has another skeleton joining her, who she keeps referring to as Gloricina.
No.
No.
She also has Reacher along, but Reacher has decided to remain in the foyer, armed with a sword and on guard. Given relatively recent events, she wants to make sure everything is secure.
Understandable.
I imagine Reacher would be quite the force to reckon with. He's huge.
Yeah, he's nothing to shake a stick at. But as dinner progresses and dishes are set before her by her 2 skeletal handmaids, she keeps rubbing a ring on her finger that twinkles with a green light, and she notices that you're seeing it. Oh, don't worry, it's just a poison detector. Of course, I don't suspect you of anything, but, well, it's just a good habit to keep. We Bloodlords, we really can't be too careful, and this is something that maybe you should be aware of as well as burgeoning Bloodlords yourself. Someone is always gunning for you. Someone is always hiding in the shadows with a knife for your back. So be wary, is all I'm saying. Oh, speaking of poison, she says, I've done some nosing around concerning this Kepgetta person you faced down a few weeks back. She was a horrible young woman, make no mistake, but sure enough, there is a coven of hags called the Graveclaw. They're the ones who have made the toxins you discovered. The Graveclaw includes an iron hag named Iron Tavia. Kepgetta, I have found out, was her daughter.
Of course.
She leans back in the chair and Gloricina pours her a cup of after-dinner tea and she continues. Graveclaw has quite the reputation. Quite. Iron Tavia lives in the Axon Wood. They say she fled there after Magambia representatives drove her out of the Mwangi Expanse decades ago.
Huh.
But the rest of the coven, they're all scattered. No one knows where they are. That is not usual for a coven of hags. No, not usual at all. Frankly, I'm quite curious about this coven, making an undetectable poison and testing it on innocent farmers. Whatever for, and who dares even attempt such a thing in Geb, where punishment is, well, so severe, she says as she kind of casts a glance at her skeleton handmaids. I know it's a lot to ask, since you've all had a lot of time, tidying up your lovely new home here and all, but I'm sure you're no doubt as comfortable as ticks in a bottle of blood, but would you mind terribly visiting this Iron Tavia in the Axon Woods? I don't think she'll be very happy to see you and all, since you, well, killed her daughter, but I really do think we ought to find out what this poison business is all about, don't you? Once you figured it out, well, I'll need you to clean it all up. Murder, I think, is the answer. The best fate for everyone involved. After all, everyone Iron Tavia is in league with, and her as well, I guess her entire coven, really, sought to inflict death on a massive scale, and that must not go unpunished. No, it mustn't. I'm responsible to enact justice, and I'm going to do so through you. I think that's a reasonable request, don't you?
I think it'll bring some closure to the poisoning. And
Yes.
maybe we can make sure it doesn't get outside of here.
Yes, it would be disastrous if it were to go beyond the borders of Geb, for certain.
Miss Haldoli, how far is this witch's hut? Where does she dwell?
Well, all I can tell you is it's in the Axon Woods. The Axon Woods is not far from here, but she is in the very near... I can tell you in the general area of the forest whereabouts my agents have located her hut, but the exact location I'm not entirely sure. I think the best thing, honestly, is to get in there and find it and deal with it.
Okay. Sounds like we're going to be wandering through the woods.
Yes, indeed. Axon Woods is, well, it's a fairy forest, honestly. It's dark and gloomy and haunted. Absolutely delightful.
Oh,
I wish I was going myself. I'm actually rather envious, but duty calls, you understand. I actually have to go off to Yeled very soon. I have some engagements there, so I will be out of the city for some time.
Who would we follow up with if we come across vital information?
I trust that you know how to handle up and follow up on that information yourselves. I believe at this point you've proven yourselves to me to continue without having to constantly report to me. I am giving you well, I don't want to say leash, that's such a derogatory term, but a long leash. And I trust in your judgment and your capabilities.
Well, we do appreciate your support.
We'll be certain to report back as soon as we find word of this Iron Tavia and whatever connection they have to the poisoning, where this toxin is being created. Find out as much as we can.
That's certainly the goal I have in mind, yes, but
We'll clean it up, too.
I wouldn't, yes, I want her dealt with, not just found. I want her dead.
We're going for the kill.
Changeling is one thing, Miss Berlin, but hags are, let's just say, a challenge to deal with at times. But you know us, we're good to try our best.
Well, we'll have to do some research and figure out what we can use against her that would work well, and do what we can.
Ultimately, we have a job to do, and it's to delete a hag.
If you come back on your vacation and you haven't heard from us, I guess you can assume the worst.
Yes, we'll be haunting the woods, I suppose.
To be fair, it's not a vacation. I only wish it were. If I was on vacation, I'd likely just come along with you. It sounds delightful, honestly. Oh, and be sure to follow the rules of the woods. You do know?
What
Do you
are
know
the rules of the Axon Woods?
Oh, well, let's see. Don't leave the path. Don't anger any of the fair folk. And keep your cold iron handy. Yes, I think those are the rules.
I think only one of us is properly prepared for that one.
Yes. Well, just don't leave the path and anger the Fey folk. That reminds me, Reacher, please. She snaps her fingers, and Reacher comes into the dining hall and hands her a rolled up piece of parchment. She unrolls it on the table after clearing some space. It's actually a map. She indicates where her sources found or think they have found where the cottage most likely is. And it's about an area 50 square miles on the western side of the forest. So you will have some...
it's kind of there.
You'll have some exploring to do.
Great.
50 square miles, that's not a lot.
not that
That's
bad.
like 10 and a half by 10.
Get that done in a month or two. Sure.
Yeah. But
Yeah, for all we know.
my advice is, now, there are plenty of Fey folks. Fey folk, oh my gosh. What did you put in this coffee, Gloricina? There are plenty of Fey folk that, should you befriend or come to gain their trust, they may help you narrow your search. So keep your eyes open and your ears open, and don't just think you have to, murder everything you see. It's not required.
We'll see.
I suppose if that, if you do want to wander about for weeks and weeks, be sure to gear up with plenty of food and whatever else you may need for provisions. Otherwise, that's the advice I have. Oh, there is one other thing. I know that a month ago we had a bit of an incident. And to be frank, I was quite disappointed that such treachery could go on right under my nose. And to be sure, Governor Seven Stomachs was also very displeased, and I must say I've, lost some face with the governor, you might say, but I've been spending some time trying to rectify that, and let's say that the man that you know as Zareth Duskborn is no more. But as you said, Mert, an iron hag is nothing to nothing to sneeze. Well, yes, for lack of a better term, nothing to sneeze at, and quite challenging. So I think that I would like to offer the services of a trusted compatriot, too strong of a word, project of mine, if you will. Reacher, if you would. Reacher stomps out towards the front entrance and out the door towards the waiting cart, and returns with a person in tow. What does this person look like?
They're wearing black, hide armor with the reinforced steel shield with the sigil of Urgathoa on it, with a machete on their belt, in the red cloak. It looks exactly like Zareth Duskborn does, but now they are undead. It's a zombie with the hair's just, because you have these this gorgeous long flowing hair, right? Now it's just patches are missing, and he looks just older than he was and just damaged. He doesn't look as a 4-week-old. He looks older than a 4-week, he's been a zombie longer than 4 weeks.
Sure.
But his countenance, his expression is just very broken. You just get this, he looks just blank, almost like that 1,000-yard stare as he,
Just like a flat affect, basically.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Now go on, don't be shy. Introduce yourself, my darling.
I just head down, looking at the floor. I'm Amon Tahir. And I don't, no one else would notice this, but you immediately, Lysander, maybe you didn't notice the absence of it before, but you definitely noticed the presence now, at least a faint presence, of an aura of Urgathoa. So, other followers of Urgathoa would notice the presence of an aura, which wasn't there before, but now you definitely detect, something of an aura of Urgathoa.
Yep. I will get up from the table, and I'll walk to where I assume he's just kind of like in the foyer, kind of standing there at the doorway, kind of in that, where we are.
Yeah, he's kind of come toward the dining area. He's kind of more in that kind of large gallery area with the light coming down.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just walk into that foyer area where that red glass is casting the glow and the kind of that crimson little courtyard there. And very suspectly, I will walk very close to him and circle him, kind of looking him up and down. Mm-hmm. I have, a zombie that works for me, yes. And his loyalty is unquestioned. And
to be sure.
Lysander is just very fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you're gonna die in a puddle.
That's different.
I don't think that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that.
It's how it goes today.
Yeah.
Right.
Preserve.
And it's creepy to the point he kind of walks behind him and kind of feeling that aura that wasn't obviously there before. Mm-hmm. As he gets close to Amon, he just kind of smells, you hear him sniff while he's behind you, and he just kind of smells.
Okay.
And then he walks to the front and just kind of clunks the face of the shield with the symbol of Urgathoa on it. Mm. And he just says, "We'll see." And then walks back to his seat.
Now, Lysander, I know that you are hesitant to trust Amon. I can assure you, you can feel it in his presence. You can sense he is true. And you, I assume, trust me.
100%. The reason he's still intact is because my trust in you is unfallible. Yet you have yet to prove me in any direction that you would lead me into any harm.
That is true. And I can assure you, and everyone here, that he is no longer
reformed.
Zareth. Zareth has been broken. The man before you is someone completely new, and I think will serve our purpose perfectly.
Well, Amon, I suppose it's good to dispose of the falsehoods. I suppose get to know you for real now. I am sorry what your treachery has cost you, but perhaps you can learn to make the best of it. I know I am trying as well.
This whole time he's been unfazed. As you're circling him, sniffing, I'm just looking at the floor. No response, no reaction. And then you say that and just kind of looks at you with these sad eyes and just
kind of looks through
and then
him.
Just back to the floor.
Oh man.
Okay. All right.
I suppose he's still getting used to his new unlife.
You could say that.
It's like your kindness touched him in a way, but just
sure.
I don't know. It's just this sad look.
Well, imagine if I was killed and then reanimated, I'd be have a little bit of brain fog going on for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I might like this one better.
Well, at least we know he's not gonna use vitality energy anytime soon.
Truth.
True.
Oh, I can assure you that has also been cleansed from
out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Purged.
Interesting.
Yes, purged is a perfect word.
Well, I hope you added some special features.
Yes.
There's some horrible jokes in there, I'm sure, but we'll move on from it.
Well,
Now, with, I'm assuming, your acceptance of Aman into your group, that all of you are now fully, what's the word I'm looking for? Your bodies will take on void energy appropriately. There are none of you who still rely on vitality magic or anything like that to survive out there in the wild. Because you see, I cannot have that. I cannot have the use of such magics even remotely attached to me, so I must make sure that we are all appropriately attuned, if you see what I'm saying.
Definitely. I may be quick, but I favor the damn fierce. Or I favor my father's side.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that being said, that means I won't have any need of the magics I brought with me. So with that, I think that we shall perhaps have dessert and catch up on anything before you. If you have any other questions before we.
Yes, what type of magics?
Oh, nothing too dangerous, I assure you. Just, I was going to be sure if anyone still relied on vitality magic, we would conduct a ritual to purge that from them as well. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
I'm happy to say you won't have to worry about it. Oh, do pass those pastries over there. I would like to give those a try. Gloricina, if you would, a refresher on my coffee, yes.
I'll just reach under the table with my foot and slide a chair out from the table and say, if you're going to kill with us, you should probably eat with us. Sit down.
The same blank expressionless, like a drone, I just kind of go over and take the seat and just still staring.
Oh, Reacher, if you would, this won't do. He'll have to be fed appropriately. Reacher goes out to the wagon, or her carriage, and returns with a
Zombie portion.
Yes, a tray of the appropriate food for our new friend, Ammon.
Alora whispers to Mert, "Why is there something for everybody but us?"
Yeah, I don't think they have ghost touch cooking utensils here in Great Urge, so I suppose we'll have to make do with taking our time.
So, a bank, a bookstore, a bakery. Now we can have ghost touch cookies, right?
Ghost touch your cookies. Let's do it.
All right.
Yes, but once the ghost touch cookies leave the presence and auras of said ghost, would they not revert back to regular cookies?
Right, but if you make them specifically from a ghost to a ghost.
If I incorporate all of the ingredients and cook it, and then de-incorporate the result,
Would they still be ghost touch cookies?
would it still be ghost flavored? All good questions.
How much ghost touch cookies could a ghost touch cookie cook?
Could a ghost touch if a ghost touch
If a
could touch
ghost
ghost?
could actually touch a cookie.
Touch cookie.
Yeah. Tune in next time.
Certainly a potential lucrative business plan, but I think we have other things
Oh,
to
sure,
focus
for sure.
on. And the night carries on for a while, and she enjoys dessert with you, continues to talk. If there's any further questions about the axe and wood, please feel free to ask.
Are there fair folk who you have connection with that you could point us in the direction that we could start our trek out into the woods?
Oh, that is a brilliant question, and unfortunately, no. There's nobody in particular that I know for certain. I just do know that, the woods are full of, dark and awful things, but also, not so dark things, and they might be willing to treat with you and help you if you manage to keep your wits about you and treat with them appropriately.
It's okay, Lysander. I've always been quite interested in the Fae, and perhaps get to meet some interesting creatures I've read about.
Sure.
I'm sure.
I'm always up for meeting interesting creatures, and I
I suppose you could call all of us interesting creatures.
Indeed.
Yes.
Now, do recall that you may be wandering for some time, so I would be sure to provision yourselves appropriately for several days' journey.
Perfect.
Let me see here. Oh, yes. I have everything I need.
So the pleasantries go on
Sure.
for a little
Yep.
while, and then she finally, okay, well, I do have several things to attend to, and I still have to prepare for my trip to Yeled, so you can always contact Mjork if necessary. He will know how to send a missive to me, but it would be several days to get to me and return. So, again, I'm putting my faith in you. Until then, have a good night, and, well, best of luck. She kicks up, taps her cane as she walks out with Gloracina and Altenmira tagging along behind her, Reacher leading the way out to her carriage.
Mm-hmm.
I quite like that Reacher fellow.
Sure.
He's very devoted to his cause. That's for sure.
Certainly. Not once heard him complain.
Are you sure he can?
I never chose to ask, but it doesn't change the answer.
Certainly. So,
Well, I suppose we should pack up our things and get on the road. Does anyone else need anything that we don't already have?
you guys need cold iron.
Yeah, we're going to need some kind of cold iron supplement, and I will need to pack a healthy supply of provisions.
And if we're going to stop by any of the shops, I'd like to get some more information on my dog figurine.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I had that in my position for a while. I could certainly share with you a bit of how I understood it to function. Also, I do have a few spare snacks in my bag that I like to keep. Perhaps I could share those if it's just a few days. But, yeah, we could certainly step into town as well if anybody else needs to stock up.
Is there a town nearby?
By
Grey Dirge.
Well, so,
you know that
No,
place
no.
that all of Book 1 took place?
excuse you. I'm talking about near the woods.
I got you.
Oh, near the woods.
Is there a town there? No.
So,
That's not Grey Dirt. Like the one
so
that hike
interestingly
out there.
enough, yeah. So outside Grey Dirge, the edges of the Axon Wood, and a lot of you would probably know this. The edges of the Axon Wood are just a few miles outside of Grey Dirge, kind of to the southwest. Falling along the Axonar River, the forest itself starts expanding all the way out to the coast. So it's quite an expansive. It's probably about 150 or so miles between Grey Dirge and the coast. And most of that is covered by this 50-mile or so wide forest that runs kind of along this river valley of the Axonar River, hence the term Axon Woods, right? So there isn't really any substantial settlements between Grey Dirge and the wood itself. So if you were looking to like stock up at a different town that might be closer to woods and like have supplies that are more appropriate for a woodland journey, I see what you're saying, but Grey Dirge is the closest thing.
Right.
And you would probably find what you would eat in Grey Dirge. So, yeah, anything that, that you just, we could do that off air if you need to stock up on, rations, etc.
Yep.
I do believe we've already identified the dog, so if you want to
Yeah, I
share
could
that.
certainly take a moment to share with Alara that, yes, this figurine, the way I understand it, is if you place it on the ground and kind of focus into it, it will turn into a dog. And it, functions as a companion for a good portion of the day, and can actually even aid us in combat if you choose to let it do so. But Onyx dogs do have specific, things that are helpful, like a normal dog would, right? Although it is made out of onyx, it will be quite useful for, tracking, especially at night. Just basically like a ready-made hound companion.
Oh, wow. So there's nothing... I just focus on it? That's easy enough.
This is quite the neat little figurine, I must say.
Where did you get it?
I believe we found it In the basement of the estate, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, and if you remember that Kalex Manor had a document that willed the manor and its contents to somebody named Smoke, and that Smoke was buried in the crypt.
Yep.
This dog, made of smoky quartz, was found in the crypt in one of the coffins with the rib cage, the skittering rib cage thing.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so the figurine itself is, really tiny statuette, and it's a 2-action interact to call it forth. So you obviously have to have it like in your hand or placed on the ground, as Mert said.
Lasts for 6 hours before it kind of disappears for the day.
Yep.
Or turns back into the figurine.
And for whatever reason, if it's killed, it reverts back to its statuette shape and can't be called back again for a period of time.
Nice.
1 week, in fact.
Just be sure not to break it while it's in the figurine form. It's certainly, once it's broken twice, we won't get it back.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yep.
I think the only thing, as we were picking up provisions that Lysander had any interest in, I would look for a cold iron ring and a silver ring. Doesn't have to be like a ring, just a hoop of.
Okay, sure, yeah. So we can certainly get some special materials. Would they be readily made in a ring, or would you have to wait? I don't know, but I think that
Sure.
finding just some raw cold iron and have it
And that
banged
will
out
work
into
just
a
fine
ring.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I can hit hard enough with or without the cold iron. I'm willing to chance it. Plus,
Okay.
I look forward to meeting some of these Fae. Hopefully they'll be friendly and we won't have to deal with that aspect of the Fae.
Hmm. Hopefully, but yeah, I'm not counting on it.
Yeah, Martius does draw, partially unsheath the sword, and he does kind of show off a couple new fancy runes on this this bastard sword that he now wields, like a hand and a half long sword,
Love it.
as opposed to his great sword that he was wielding previously.
Ooh.
Love it. Love it.
Okay. Yeah. So as we're stocking up, like I said, we can do most of that off air, and
Sure.
we can handle that
Yep.
off air. Speaking of being on air, there is some static coming through. So if there are some devices near some mics, we might want to
Interesting.
chickadee check yourself before we.
Wreck yourself.
Yeah. Just getting some notes from the tech crew. So thanks everybody out there on the tech crew helping us with the lights and cameras
sure.
and sound.
Hey, I
because,
also want to shout out to those guys, right?
Yeah.
We got back from PopCon and we set the whole place up, and it's a whole mess, but those guys are great, the tech crew and everything that puts this studio back together. So
yes, we are
Super
back
shout out.
live with the quality you see on the screen right now. That is all because of them and some additional help that
For sure. Yeah, and those that
Gotta
were
give
at
credit where credit's due.
PopCon this weekend got to see a glimpse of kind of all the stuff that goes into
Sure,
each
sure.
of these episodes, and to move all that stuff there for you guys to see, and then to move it all back and get it all working again is a Herculean effort in a day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
big props to everybody that got it back together.
We were working on it since noon.
So
Up
Believe it or
until
not, this is not my normal
6:27.
face. This is all special effects. So
to the woods, I hear.
blame the special effects.
Oh dang.
Okay. Yeah.
Special effects.
Special effects.
I
Okay,
didn't know
so
we had those.
we'll say that probably the rest of the evening you would talk about what your plans are. You maybe spend the rest of the day tomorrow getting provisions, getting your cold iron materials, and whatever other special materials you might need. And if there's anything else around town that you want to wrap up, we'll knock that out. And so we'll kind of take another day stepping forward. So that's gonna I'm keeping track of the calendar off air. So for those of you like that. It's the 21st of Gozer and 4722. It's not the 23rd of Gozer.
Got it.
And are you setting off in the morning then? Or are you traveling by night? Remember, you don't have anybody who is in danger traveling in the sunshine now, so something to consider.
I think it'd probably be better for us to travel during the day. I mean, if we're going to go into a set of woods, it may have some thick canopy, and we could probably use all the light we can muster.
Yes, not all of us see so good in the dark.
Right.
Okay.
Well, maybe you guys should fix that. Would that be the special attachments or whatever it was you used.
Oh, like switched out his eyeballs so he can see in the dark now?
Is it dark? Does he have dark vision now?
He has high beams. It's okay.
Not quite sure that's how characters work. Okay.
Just like tug on an ear. It's like,
It's a zombie.
Stay
Love
tuned
it.
next
Gotta
week for
piece it together.
actually.
Yeah.
So he just had some dark vision eyes popped in his skull. Is that what you're
Right,
saying?
yeah.
I mean, why not?
you do notice, though, as everybody's getting ready to go out the door, that Mert does strap a strange thing to his head. It's basically just like a little headband with a small little candle on top of his head.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
And
You said to take care of it so I
and-
could see at night.
and
This is what I could find. What? And he shakes his head, and it just poof, like the little candle starts burning. Oh, shake his head again, poof, goes back out.
What? That's cool.
I love it.
No.
I mean, I would be embarrassed to travel with him too, but it's cool. It's a cool little
It's the
thing.
best I could find. I'm sorry.
It's all good when you're embarrassed, but he'll whip your ass, and that's all.
Oh, yeah. I'm not,
That's all that matters.
no questioning
yeah,
that
you
at
can
all.
be embarrassed, but don't tell him.
Yeah.
You'll piss him off, and then
Yeah.
whoo,
Yeah, you don't send little Mert into. You won't like him when he's angry.
That's right.
Little Mert into Big China.
Little Mert.
Yeah.
Call him Little Mert.
Here we go.
I'll let that one slide. For now.
Okay, so as I said, it's probably a few hours southwest of Grey Dirge proper as you move through the farmlands that you're kind of used to seeing, those more pastoral settings, kind of the rolling hills as you move down into the valley and head towards the woods. You can see them now rising on the horizon, and kind of in the mid to late afternoon, you actually start getting into the tree line and find yourself leading into a forest. There is a path that leads in off of out of the road you've been following. A narrow path leads between twisted trees covered in black mold. Branches hang from their sides like broken limbs. Dark leaves form a thick canopy that blocks almost all sunlight, leaving the forest floor cloaked in deep shadow. A thick and moist mat of fallen leaves covers the ground, and although this forest layer muffles your footfalls, every step upon it sends centipedes, beetles, and other vermin scurrying from underfoot. A wind gusts from ahead, blowing hanging moss, and a hollow moaning seems to follow. There are several narrow paths that wind throughout this forest, and you may follow them for hours. Some of them are choked up with undergrowth, and you do have somebody armed with a machete who is perfect for clearing out undergrowth on these paths.
And also perfect for going first.
You hear that? You hear what they're already doing to you?
Meat
Yep.
shield.
Yep.
So as you are, following these paths, sometimes they dead end. You may follow them for what seems like hours, and then they just stop in thick trees, just overgrown with vines and hanging moss. So you have to turn back. Movement off the path is extremely difficult. However, these thick leaves do soften your footfalls. So if you are of a sneaky persuasion, something to consider.
So long as it's not off the path.
That's right. That is what Berlin suggested, is to stay on the path. So as you guys are traveling through, we're in basically, exploration mode in game terms.
Right.
And in exploration mode, there's usually like exploration activities that you may be doing, so that if you were to shift into encounter mode, you're already kind of in a position to deal with that. And some may be, scouting ahead, some may be just trying to avoid notice, et cetera, et cetera. So just to get a sense of, as you're moving through these woods slowly, what is everybody doing exploration mode-wise? You could be doing things like, reading aura isn't going to work, but you could be casting a spell, right? Concentrating on a spell. That would slow your travel down, but you can continuously cast spells like light or whatever. Prestidigitation was one thing we were doing last time.
Well, kind of like Ophelia said, as we're traveling, seeing, as we're getting into the thicker and thicker undergrowth, I see everyone struggling, and I'm moving a little bit slower than you're used to seeing me travel, but seeing people struggle with the undergrowth, like I do, like I draw my machete and move forward and kind of start hacking stuff away, and I have my shield out because I want to be ready to defend if need be. So I'm keeping an eye on everyone and clearing a path.
Perfect. So defending.
I am looking around,
Okay.
like perceiving, kind of sneaking.
Sure. So which one will you be more focused on? Avoiding notice or seeking?
Seeking.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing the same. Just trying to keep a keen eye out for anything bigger than scorpions and beetles that are moving around in the underbrush.
He said centipedes. Don't say scorpions, because we could get. That
Yeah,
brings a whole.
it's a good point.
I
I
did
don't
say
know.
We are in Garund, though, so
I did say other vermin, so
Yep.
it's very likely that there are some forest scorpions skittering about. All kinds of vermin. Whatever
Do they
your
count?
heart desires. What's that?
Do they count as alchemical items?
Oh, here we go with this.
you're looking to...
No, you buy your materials and
I
you
know.
made your stuff.
I know.
Just giving me a hard time.
Which, by the way, got some new stuff to try.
Ooh,
For sure.
as do I.
Ophelia spent a lot of time with the cauldron.
I would like to scout for my action.
Okay.
Scout.
So, because there's Remy and myself, Remy will walk in the back because he's slower. But he'll
Okay.
walk in the back, and I'll kind of walk a little bit up front. Not unlike Amon here. Just so I'm just kind of being more observant. And I feel since Remy is in the back and I'm kind of in the front, we just kind of make like a little team.
Sure.
We're scouting.
I don't
Okay.
mind hanging back a bit to let you kind of,
Yep.
keep an eye out.
Okay, great. So that scouting will come into play should encounter mode break out. That actually will give you guys a little bit of a jump on.
That's right.
On the checks.
Using my foresight and my oracular view.
I love it. I love it a lot.
Alara is going to be using her thorough search as we walk to
Okay.
Great.
she's mostly looking for anything unusual that shouldn't be
Yeah.
here in the woods.
Okay. So yeah, so we've got basically 3 people seeking. We've got 1 defending. We've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and a scout. So we're in good shape. So as you're winding right, I mean it's getting darker and darker in here. You probably have shook on your candle at this point
Yep.
to provide some light for anybody who requires low light vision or some kind of dim light source. The candle is that as a torch or is that
As a candle. So it's this the low light. Actually, it might not be the same distances, but it is only low light to my understanding. I'll have to double check,
Yeah.
but I think it is low light and then
No
that's it.
light.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so as you're kind of walking around, and I gotta get out of the habit of calling you Zareth now. Ammon is hacking away at undergrowth. You hear the rhythmic just chopping of the blade hitting the vegetation. Alara, as you were kind of just walking around listening, watching out for anything kind of out of hand, you do hear some voices up ahead on the path. Just a conversation. It's hard to make out what the actual words are right now. What do you do with that?
She's gonna stop moving and kind of make a motion and just kind of sit and listen and see if anybody responds to my sudden stopping.
Okay, well, we're all observing.
Yeah, so I would say that probably Remy, who's
Yeah.
behind and you're ahead, maybe don't notice this, right? You're busy, you're kind of zeroed in on your hacking away at the vegetation. But Merton and Ophelia, who have their eyes and ears peeled, so to speak, do notice this.
Do you hear?
Is that a fae? Is it one of the fae?
I can't make it out. Do you hear it?
I don't hear anything. I was behind Amon, so I don't touch him.
Okay, I'm hacking and I just.
He turned him off.
Oh, back on the off button.
That's amazing. But Mert does speak fae. So if there is words being spoken. You might understand them.
Yeah, so you can't make them out. You do, so as Alara points this out, you do hear a conversation deeper in the woods, down the trail a bit, but you would have to get closer to understand what's being said.
I suppose we should consider being a little more stealthy, maybe.
So that means no hacking.
He just kind of lowers my arm.
Well, do I now notice that everyone has stopped, or am I just continuing on?
You probably would have picked up that he stopped chopping away, because I assume he was probably just a little bit in front of you.
Yeah.
And she's come up, and now, okay.
Okay.
Yes, so everyone, I think, at this point is kind of aware that something is happening.
I hope you would stop when the entire party
you know.
stopped. Like,
I wouldn't put it past me.
Yes, he is the chosen one.
So you can approach this two ways. We can be more stealthy and hope to get the drop on whatever this is, or we make ourselves obvious, as in like, hey, we're not trying to sneak up on you, in case some of us aren't good at sneaking.
Well,
you mean you?
Perhaps, I don't, Ophelia, how much have you been, I've seen you practicing with your dagger and the stealth you've been doing. Could we follow you?
I'm sure you could. I would hope.
Are you an expert in stealth?
This is what I'm trying to say and not say at the same time. Okay.
No, I am only trained. I do apologize.
So there is no follow the trained.
Just follow the trained.
Listen.
The trained leading the trained.
We're level 4.
I hear you. You know, can't be good at everything.
Other things were more important for her skill point.
Yeah, and you went into the
I don't
alchemy
get a
thing,
skill
which is
point at
super
level
cool.
4.
Yeah. I know that. I also am level 4.
What are these skill points you're talking
Right,
about? Do you
right.
guys what?
It was a gift from Miss Haldoli. Did you not pick your skill
I
points
must
up
not
on
have
your
got
way out
one of
the door?
those. You'll have to remind me. It takes 10 minutes to
Yeah, that's
incorporate
the
skill
special,
points.
the special ritual she
Us
brought
ghosts,
for us.
it takes a long time.
Next level, you can follow the expert.
Yes. Yes.
So I just heard that we're going to be level 5. Yes.
All right.
Well,
Gotta live through level 4 first.
that's right.
Okay, fine.
Do you have a point, Lysander? Perhaps we should just go up and try to introduce ourselves and see who they are.
I mean, I am apt at speaking and talking and making friends.
Yes. And as I said, I'm quite familiar with the Fae, and I can speak their language. I can certainly try to interpret for us.
Would love that for sure.
Do we have a plan?
Yeah, I think we're
What
just
is the
gonna.
plan?
I think we're just gonna walk toward the voices.
Okay.
I think we're going to announce our presence in a loud and obnoxious way.
Okay.
Well, if you guys lead, I'll be, behind you, so I'm not completely visible, but ready to step in if I need to.
Sure.
All right. As you walk down the path towards this sound,
I just want you to know the rogue is against this.
you
Sorry, witch rogue.
can vaguely start to make out conversation now. 2 small old men are conversing on the path ahead. You could just make out in the darkness that each of them wears a cap. In the darkness, it's hard to tell, but they might be red. They lean on sighs. "Marco," says one in a plaintive voice, "how much longer we got to be out here?" "Now, Rono," says the other, a hand on his hip. "You remember what the lady told us? I don't want to see any of you again until you got 6 heads each. Now, how many heads you got?" The other one bends down and looks at his waist and counts severed heads dangling from his belt. "3. "Well, you got 5. How'd you get 5 when I only got 3? "Well, Rono, I'm smarter than you see. While you're keeping him busy, I comes up behind him and over the head." Rono kicks the ground with his iron-toed boot. "But, Marco, that just doesn't seem right. You help me get 3 more, won't you?" Marco claps the other on the shoulder. "Course I will. Ain't we, mates? You could have the heads, and I get what's in the pockets." "Oh, Marco, you got a true heart, you do." And at that moment, they turn to look and see you on the path. "Oi!
Hello, gentlemen.
Greetings. Well met, you travellers. And the other, I think they've all got heads. Hey,
Hello, are you Fey folk, good sirs? I've been looking to meet some.
they chuckle and look at each other. Well, yeah. Well, we're Fey folks indeed. Well, are you looking to have a bit of a parlay with some Fey folks? Are you?
How delightful! I've been looking to. One moment, and I start flipping through some notes and just kind of some basic Fey phrases like, "Hello,
Right, yeah.
how are
So they
you?
start
Where is the bathroom?"
slowly walking.
That's
Don't they slaw brains?
over there.
So they start kind of working their way towards you as you're flipping through your Fey phrase book, apparently.
Yeah.
They have that in the gift shop.
Fey for dummies.
So,
That's
Yeah.
my notes, my very dubious notes. Yeah.
what kind of a recall knowledge would it be to figure out what kind of Fae they are?
Or aren't.
Well, that's a
Or
very good
aren't.
question. And if we want to start getting into the actions, I think we ought to just roll for initiative.
Oh.
What? I thought these guys looked like perfectly friendly chaps.
We are perfectly I just told them we was good mates.
So, because we've made ourselves apparent, would my scout ability not carry over then?
I would say that you are currently
thought-
not scouting.
I thought that was the case.
Makes sense.
However, if your shield is still raised, you are still defending. If I don't.
Oh,
remember
I would.
everybody.
Yeah, let's cater to the new guy.
So what do you take?
However, was your shield raised?
So what do you take for my initiative roll then? Is it still perception?
Yeah, it's still going to be perception, but
takes a
you
one.
could start with your shield raised.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to roll initiative for these guys separate because
Reasons.
depending on so there's that.
The guy with 3 heads may give up.
Right then, so go after the one with the biggest head first. Okay. All right. Yowza. Can't be right. That is right.
Oh no.
Okay, what did Ophelia get? Since you were wanting to recall now so
A
eagerly.
natural 20.
A natural 20, which translates to
28.
28. That's amazing. Mert.
21.
Okay, Lara,
29.
Ooh.
29.
My goodness.
And Lysander,
19.
19. And I'm going to have to, I still had Zareth's name on my initiative tracker.
Wah wah.
Unceremoniously erase that. He is gone
Zereth is dead.
forever. And I will replace it with Alan. And what did you get for your initiative?
19.
19. Okay, so we have two 19s. Who would like to defer to whom?
The trader can go.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
That's very kind.
I need to see him work before I,
Wow.
lay a
Right, so-
foundation of trust.
As I get these in order, the one who was being referred to as Marco will get to go first.
Oh.
But I gotta put stuff on the board because we are now in encounter mode and we are going to have
Encounter.
some stuff being encountered. So as you were coming down the path here, I believe we heard Emma was here. Up in front was Lysander, Remy, and Mert.
That is, whoa, earthquake test.
Okay. Yep, I have a dex -1.
It's fine, it's fine. It's not a required skill for GMing.
Well, that's what I do. It's the
Yes,
only
we
thing
need
I
wisdom,
can do.
intelligence, and
Most-
charisma.
I was saying most of us nerds have, strength and dex penalties, so
Yeah.
You speak for yourself.
As ripped ass Marco comes around the corner.
Right, so they
Whoa.
they are right next to each other. They are wearing little red caps, and they may show up in the Twitch feed as an image shortly. But as I said, Marco goes first, which might be bad news because as Fey folk, they are very, very, very fast.
Just like that.
So this one comes running up to Mert, who's still flipping through his phrase book as he charges up.
Donde es Bathromo?
Yeah.
oh goodness. I don't know what the actual Fae would sound like in the slightest, so I can't really even try to emulate it.
Who knows? Probably not broken Spanish. So this is something called Stomp, where they get to stride up to half their speed, and at the end of it, bam, kick you with their steel-toed boot.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Oh.
Iron-toed boot. It's not steel yet.
Noted.
Okay.
Are those scythes?
It's in there, TJ.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah. I was asking you.
So they look like scythes. They're more a halberd.
Oh,
But
no.
here comes
Okay.
this.
Good.
Oh,
Here comes this stompy boot. Bam.
Strike.
That is a 26.
It is a hit.
Okay. Not a critical though?
No, thank goodness.
Darn. Okay.
My goodness.
That is going to be 9 points of piercing damage, as the toe of this boot has this little wicked hook on it.
Schwabam.
Okay. And that is one action.
Lovely.
Now it's going to take this halberd and hit a 23.
Still hit. You have map going on, right?
I do.
Please?
I do.
Can you add more map?
I would like
Adding
extra
more
map.
map, sir.
I would like extra map, please.
Okay. This is going to be.
Please, sir, can I have
Hold the
some-
crits. Extra map.
I got to roll the right dice for damage. I shouldn't roll a d20 for damage, right?
Please don't.
Oh my goodness.
I have some more.
That is 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay, nope.
Oh wow. Now that escalated
You
quickly.
better turn that shit down.
And then it'll kick you again with its boot.
You little rude shit.
Getting clogged.
That is a 21.
Oh my god.
That is a hit.
Yeah,
Look, I don't know what you're ladling out your map with, but you better figure it out.
I'm rolling hardcore good rolls tonight. So,
Good.
I hope
Welcome to
those
book
dice.
2. Hope it's over soon.
you're ready.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's only 8 points of piercing from the boot.
Only.
Only.
And take 2 off of that first one, too. I did my math wrong.
Okay,
So I got 2.
I got you.
So Marco,
Came up and stomped on Mert.
right, I think this one, Rono, this one first, get his head. And it is Alara's turn.
Oh dear.
What the is going on here?
I'm trying to think through how we befriend at this point.
Oh, no, there's no befriending.
I was like, I don't think we can go with Berlin's recommendation for these two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
negotiations seem to have dissolved. at this point.
Correct.
I don't know what you were reading from, Mert, but that I would pitch that guide.
Negotiations were brief.
Yes.
You seem like perfectly nice gentlemen.
Oh, sure.
He says,
right.
it's like just blood
Getting
dripping
the
down his
shit,
lip.
getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
These are great guys.
Oh,
Yeah, blood running down my
We're going to
shin
be
from the kick.
friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were trying to be nice.
Are you mad at me? Was it something I said?
Okay, so
Yeah, I need to brush up on my face.
Alara is going to pull one of the beads off of her sash and toss it at our new friend in the front there by Mert.
Friend.
Casting a telekinetic projectile.
Oh, all right. So you may roll to hit.
All right, come on.
You may, whoa, wait.
22.
22 is a hit.
Oh yay! What is that? 3d6 heighten. Yeah. Okay, so that'd be. Would that be 4? Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2. Seven.
7 damage.
7 points of damage.
Okay, and is that piercing or bludgeoning or what
It
is
is. Oh, let me see. That's a good question. Attack, counter, concentrate, manipulate. Let's see. I thought it was bludgeoning.
that? Okay, I will take your how much? 7.
7.
7 bludgeoning to the guy who ran up on Bert. That was
Yep.
Marco. He will eat that.
And then I will cast a courageous anthem for the team.
Sweet.
All right, very cool.
Love
so
it.
you didn't have to move at all. Okay. Great, great. That brings us to Ophelia. Still want to know what these are?
Please?
I do want to know what these are.
Okay, so I will take a recall knowledge action with nature. Are you trained in nature? You don't have to be trained, actually.
No, I'm not trained in
Okay,
nature.
so you got a bonus, a little bit of a bonus. A little bit of a bonus. Okay, here we
Roll
go.
well.
I've been rolling hot, so you never know.
Yeah, but you're rolling for me now. So.
Okay. Yeah, you're not entirely sure. You think these are brownies. There's something called brownies, and yeah, they're known to go throughout the woods like selling sweet treats.
Cool.
It's dubious.
Okay, that's what you know.
We might have bought
Wow,
something.
you rolled a 1.
It was not good.
It was a not good.
No.
Okay,
So you're saying you don't believe me?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Because of
you don't, but Ophelia.
out of character, I do not believe you.
Fair enough.
One bit, because I'm very well versed in the Fae. Out of character.
Okay.
In character,
You
it's
have
brownie.
No idea. Fair enough. What do you
Okay.
actually do?
So, these are Fae creatures. This is the first ones that we've come across. And I have been looking to get into like more stealing of things and whatnot.
Uh-oh.
And I happen to have learned a spell in our time off that may or may not help in this instance. What
Well, let's hope it does.
lures?
Oh, I don't like that.
What lures does this creature have?
What lore does it have?
Yes,
Oh,
because
boy.
I am casting Umbral Mind Theft.
Whoa.
Oh.
Let me just dive deep into the
Fae.
sandbox here.
Actually, I'm looking specifically for lore Fae.
Genius. I
Well,
love it.
it's lore that these creatures know that you're stealing from their mind.
Yep.
Right.
I'm
So if they
hoping
don't have any.
it says I can. If I succeed at my check to steal a lore skill, I deal damage. But
Umbral.
let's
That's
see.
rude.
It
And
says
very
you
apt.
prepare to steal
Right?
a broad field of knowledge from another creature, siphoning it from their mind and storing it in a pocket of the shadow plane connected to your own mind.
Whoa.
During the spell's duration,
casual.
you can use the steal action to attempt to take one lore proficiency from a creature instead of stealing an item.
That's kind of
Okay.
sweet.
So you
Yeah,
cast a
super
spell,
cool.
and you get a bunch of like just noise from their brain.
They don't have
So
any-
you try to seek like their specified knowledge, and all they think about is violence, blood, and hats.
violence,
They
blood.
did have quite fashionable little caps.
Okay, so should
there
I
is no
do
lore.
a steal?
There's no lore to steal, is what I'm saying.
But the spell also causes damage.
If you steal a lore,
But
there's no lore to
Oh,
steal.
I gotcha.
Damn, that's cool though.
Yeah, it was a cool attempt.
And that'd be you, right? Recall and spell.
It's a wicked monster in the
It's
woods.
very cool.
But very,
noises.
very cool spell. That would absolutely be super clutch right now. So we can
Right.
figure out what these things are.
Well, I tried.
Yeah?
Did you? So you see as you do this, which one were you doing this on? The one that charged Mert?
Yeah.
You see him like he's shaking his head. And he's like, "Oh, get out of me head! Get out of me head!" And he's like shaking his head, and his cap is like flopping back and forth. No. And it is his partner's turn. Roll no.
Well, you know she cast a spell because it is
Get out of my head.
semantic and verbal.
Well,
so
bye, guys. Why is it always me?
because you're up front.
Okay, so this will be the boot. That is only an 18.
Miss.
Okay.
Woohoo.
So then he'll bear bring the halberd to bear. Oh, it's a natural 20. I don't know if there's any criticals with this.
Criticals, he says.
Yeah.
So long, farewell.
Ooh, no. I'm gonna.
I heard.
I'm thinking about it, but
Yeah,
no.
I heard
I might
great.
need it for other things.
I'm sure.
So this 20 will roll on up to, because it will count a 28, so I'm assuming that connects.
Yes, that is
So
great.
this will be a critical, and it is an at 20, so we're going to get out the red cards.
Please be normal damage and a debuff. Normal
And debuff,
Normal
all
damage and a debuff. Yeah, a debuff on
Please.
them.
Yeah.
The one out of 52 cards.
Seems reasonable. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, they're coming at you with a halberd, which is slashing. Swing through. Make an additional attack at a foe adjacent to the target using the same attack modifier as the original target. The adjacent target is Remington, and this is slashing damage. Okay, but for you, the damage is
Hold
going
on
to be
tight.
a lot. Boy. Okay. 32.
Oh my. What?
Okay. He eats it, but he ain't looking good.
What?
He's still standing.
He eats it. Yep.
So that swing then goes on through to Remington with the same bonus to the attack. This is the second attack action, so... it always makes me nervous when I'm dishing out this kind of damage, but...
Then don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
right?
Just
That seems
don't. It's
What you
okay.
got?
Don't.
It'll be fine.
That's a 19 to hit Remington.
That's a miss.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
And for the third swing, it's going to get very mad and try to take your head.
Bring it.
Oh
no.
That's only an 18 to hit.
Oh, that's a miss.
That ends Willow's turn, and Mert is still standing. I never thought I'd say that.
Never
It
thought
is-
they'd say that in general, or because I took like 60
'Cause you
damage
took
in the
a
first round.
ton
Yeah.
of damage, but it is your turn.
All right. Wow, I made it. Okay, so I mean, I'm still standing there with my Fey Field Guide, and
Wow.
I think, considering the circumstances, I wouldn't have done the free action rage. I think that fits the flavor of what was going on here.
Sure.
So, I think I will swing for the fences and try to recall knowledge on these guys to figure out what on earth they are, since I'm not raging.
This is, wow, very interesting point. All right, Mr. Nellis, let's take a look at what your...
I can help you out.
Bonus.
It's a nil.
Well, you said swing for the fences.
Yeah.
Strong
I roll a
0.
20.
It's a strong 0.
Okay.
So, if it's really bad, I might use something to reroll.
Okay.
So,
You do know that you're not sure what these are.
okay. But it's not a critical failure?
It is not a critical failure.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't think they're brownies.
I'm gonna
You don't
use-
think they're brownies, but you're looking at Ophelia like, brownies? Brownies are smaller than this.
They come in pans.
And they
So-
don't sell things. What?
So you'll notice, like, Mert starts, like, whispering to himself and, like, talking to somebody that isn't there. I'm going to use spiritual guides to re-roll that check.
Oh, okay. Still at a +0?
Yep.
Okay. Well, there are 20 numbers on the dice.
That's right.
How many numbers
Can be wrong.
would be higher than what you got? Who knows? But yeah,
No
you're
idea.
still, even with the guidance of this spiritual entity,
Yeah.
you're not sure. You
That's
do
fine.
know for a fact they're not brownies.
Good to know.
Okay, that is one action.
Then I will second action. Well, dang, that really screws me up. Yeah, I will second action to enter rage. And then 35 feet of movement. Can I get all the way back behind Ophelia?
Back here? Yes.
Yeah. And I'm gonna
That's a good
move to
call.
the back.
That's a good
just
call.
to get myself back in situated before I run back up in there.
Okay, so that's 2 actions, and as you run past, they're like, "Oh, don't let him get away! He's got a nice head."
Oh no. I was wondering if that might happen.
Do you have 1 action left? You do, in fact, get away clean though.
Okay. I'll battle medicine myself.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Shit's getting real.
seems reasonable.
I'll take
That
the
brings us-
expert DC. Fail.
Oh no, not critical though.
Nope.
That brings us to your new friend, Amon.
I was expecting Zareth. Expecting you to say Zareth.
I have erased the name Zareth from my sheet.
I'm gonna have to get used to it too. Okay, so Yeah, I'm focused. I'm determined. You just look of determination on my face, and I'm going to charge forward, defensive advance, and take a swing at the one in front of Remy.
Okay, that is Mr. Marco, who has been hit already.
And that is a 28 to hit.
28 is a hit.
And that's going to be 8 points of damage.
Okay.
And then with my shield still raised, I'm going to try to intimidate the one I just hit.
Okay.
A 6 to intimidate.
Let me check.
I'm waiting. No.
Okay.
You do have one action left, right? Because it's
So-
was it a defensive charge?
The defensive advance is a 2 action,
Oh, okay.
and then I spent my third to try to intimidate.
Perfect. That brings us to Lysander and Remington.
Correct. I will. Is Remington within 10 feet of both of the Fey guys?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, right. I will use his support ability.
Okay.
Activate his support ability, which allows him to kind of have that aura of rot kind of start festering out from him.
Okay.
And he gets a movement. So if there is a 5-foot square, I can't tell if there is.
They're kind of
Yeah,
ways to
yeah.
base.
If he could swing and hit him, and then whatever it is, that's fine. And he just wants to be as close as he can get. Mainly, I'm just trying to get that defensive front for the rest of the group,
Yeah,
right?
he is right side by
Sure.
side with.
And then I will cast needle darts, and I will pull that cold iron ingot steel thing, hoop, whatever we had it made into.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll be a hoop on his jacket, just like the other ones. And I will crush the cold iron in my hand, and I'll cast needle darts at the
Very cool.
one that's in front of Remington.
Okay. All right, so he'll get a little bit of cover.
Sure,
shooting
sure.
through some people, but yeah, he's right there. Okay, fire when ready.
That's a 25.
Ooh,
Nice.
25 hits.
it better.
And that was okay.
So he's going to take 10 piercing damage,
Okay.
and as you guys are kind of seeing Remy now for the first time kind of in this kind of environment, Remy is maybe a half a foot taller. He's a little broader, and he kind of has this kind of this black, like the veins on his back of his neck are kind of black. And he, that aura is just like
Remy's on gear.
almost like palpable. You can almost see it, and so there's extra damage now associated with that ability.
Okay.
Oh.
That's 9 points of damage from Remy's rot, as it's now 2d6 damage that he does.
Ooh, that's that hurts.
Nice.
Okay, so when those needle darts kind of pepper into this creature,
Marco or whatever the guy.
yeah, he just kind of like reels back and he's, oh, it burns, it does. I get that one. Anything else?
No, that's all me. I used his support ability, and then 2 actions for needle darts. It does say on my ability that if I don't, I just want it just so we're at 4th level, right?
Yep.
If I don't command Remy, so if like next round I don't give him a command, he will take an attack against that creature.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
would he do that this turn?
He would not, because I
Because he had
commanded
to-
him to activate his support
Makes
ability.
sense.
Got it.
So I just
Okay.
want to make sure we're no actually tomorrow or next week.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love that segment, but I also hate
Right.
that segment.
Yeah,
Because reasons.
sure.
However, that brings us to the top of round 2. And you notice that Marco at the front of the line, right in front of Remington, the one that screamed, oh, it burns, his wounds start to kind of close up as he
Factually.
Lovely.
and he sees up. He's like, oh, I've got
Love
you
that.
now. And He is going to first
Know what I'm doing next round.
take a. Let's see here. We'll swing at you with this halberd first. That's a 15
Swinging at me?
at Remington. Yeah,
Oh, no.
great. That'll try to stomp you with his boot. That's a natural 20.
Okay.
So that will add up to a 28, which I'm assuming is a critical.
It is a critical, yes.
Okay. So let's see what happens with the old boot.
It's rolling hot over there, Patrick, and I'm not having a fun time right now. Well, I'm having a blast, but Bert's not having a
It's
blast.
not having
It's
fun.
okay. It's okay.
And I'm having fun, but I'm also not having fun.
Better,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't want to kill everyone on the very first encounter of book 2.
Right,
But
jeez.
it could happen.
I think you should go back and reread the beginning of book 2, and it says level 8 instead of 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double that up.
What is this? This is piercing because they got those like little. Okay, so this is forearm pierce. The target would drop a weapon that it's holding. Remington is not holding any
Nope.
weapons because he fights barehanded.
He sure does.
So it's just going to be the double damage.
Great
on the
for
boot.
him.
Boot. Okay, that is this. 20 points of damage as he just
From a
gives you
boot?
yes,
What the
shot
hell?
in iron with a little spike on the toe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be kicked by this boot.
I'm just
Just
saying,
kidding.
I don't want to get kicked by a f***ing boot.
And he's like, "That's right." And then he'll kick you again.
It's your mouthy little jerks,
They
man.
are.
They are.
Right. I'm gonna stomp your guts out. It's Alara's turn. He completely misses on the,
All
on
right.
the boot.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, at least they're not coming. They don't seem to be coming back after me.
Don't worry, they're stomping my guts out.
Actually, maybe I will do that. I'm going to cast Forbidding Ward on Mert.
Oh, okay.
I'll take that.
So that will, yeah.
That's a +1 AC against a specific target, correct?
Let me see.
Yeah, you have to name one of the targets, and
Yeah.
he gets a bonus to his armor class
Okay.
when that target tries to hit him.
Yep. Yeah. So the one that's most interested in you.
Probably Marco, right?
Yeah.
The guy
Marco. That was like
Oh, that's right, Marco.
the one that enjoys your head the most.
He's got your head in me sights, but
And then I'm gonna.
Just want to say phrasing.
And then I'm gonna cast Guidance on Ophelia.
ooh, all right.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
That's perfect because it brings us to Ophelia's turn.
Oh, yay. So, from your experience, sir, am I in range
Of
to throw?
Oh,
your
your
telekinetic projectile or your dagger?
With
What are you throwing?
the
The star knife?
you do also have that
no, the
fancy.
frost vial.
Oh, okay. So I believe
Your experience.
yeah. So that's a little different for an actual alchemist like that other character in the other campaign, Mr. Barnabas from the Soul Silver campaign.
All right.
So let's take a look at. This is a frost vial, Ace?
I believe if you're trained in martial weapons, alchemical bombs count as such.
Yeah, that's fine. What we're looking for is the range.
Oh, I got you.
I am not trained in martial weapons. I am trained in simple weapons.
Okay.
I may have to change that.
Yep, certainly could take some additional training and some weapon mastery.
I believe it's 20 feet. We'll go with 20 feet. So are you within 20 feet? 5, 10, 15. You are within 20 feet right now of Marco on a straight diagonal over the head of Remington. Remington will grant him some cover, but yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
from downtown.
try. So it's my dex mod, right?
So yeah, it's a ranged attack. So you're
Right. Because you're untrained, you won't get your proficiency bonus. I think just your dex.
yeah, just your dex.
Whew.
That's gonna be rough.
But I mean, you know, Hail Mary that might
There are
disable
20
it.
sides of die.
There are 20
on
sides of a die.
We're kind of swinging for the fence this
Yeah.
combat in general. I mean, I did the same thing
I'm
with my recall.
learning.
Yeah. And it's fun.
I'm
It's a new,
learning.
it's a new toy, right?
Hey, would that count as sneak attack?
Ooh.
I'm coming out of nowhere with that bomb.
No, he
Don't think you're off guard.
everyone. It's a good try, but
I mean, it's gonna
Maybe if you were the size of a brownie,
Surprise.
you might be able to pull that off.
it's gonna surprise the hell out of my friends, but
Sure,
you know.
for sure.
hopefully you don't.
That was a 5.
A 5 on the die.
So,
think it's
no,
what it's- think it's
5
what-
total.
Oh,
Okay, so that is a miss. That is a miss. However, with alchemical bombs, you do still do the splash damage
Yes,
on
I
a
do.
miss. So the splash on a moderate frost vial is
2.
2. So he'll take 2 points of frosty damage. Okay, so it's an action to draw it, an action to throw it. 'Cause
Yes.
you don't have the quick bomb feature. So you
Correct.
do have 1 action left. It's hard to play an
I-
alchemist not being an alchemist.
For sure.
I'm going to draw my Cold Iron Morning Star.
Okay, there we go. So you hear that sheen of this thing being drawn, and it's Rolno's turn. Rolno looks over at Marcus. Why would you go after that one? If he's probably not even got any brains. We're supposed to get living creatures with living brains, remember? And he goes to swing against Amon.
The zombie?
Newsflash.
It's just like,
Our
wow.
front line is
Oh
the
no,
zombie
he's a zombie
cascade.
too. God damn it, we'll have to kill all the zombies.
We're all recalibrating.
Well,
Even the guys we've never met before.
Yeah.
we'll edit that later. We are live. God. Okay. The halberd hits you with a 25 just for being
my.
a smart aleck.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, but not a critical, right? Sadly.
Get there.
Thanks.
Okay, that's only 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay, I'm gonna shield block that. So my shield will absorb 8 points.
Alright.
And then,
So you would take 4 and your shield would take 4.
yes.
All right, great. So now, whoa, Trixie, are ya? Bam, kick you with the boot.
With the boot. Kick him with the boot.
with the boot.
That is going to be a 21 to hit you.
That misses.
Whoa, all right. Oh, this one's hard to hit, Marco. We'll go after the other one. Bar likes this one. And the halberd on the final swing is a natural 20.
Oh,
What the heck? That's 3 from you. That's
I know.
enough.
can I catch a skullbone to take those dice away from you?
I will give you
man.
mine to help with that.
Right. So this is
serious.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn mine in.
Oh!
now before you do that, this does have to add up to a hit. So let's take that into consideration
good point.
first. Does a 23 hit you?
Yes.
Okay, so this would turn into a critical. So you're going to force me to reroll?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I like
Stop that.
it. I
Stop
like
that.
it. Fair enough. Here's the reroll. Natural 4.
Did you add me?
I did too, dude. I was on a string.
I was like, well, here we go.
Over.
Okay.
Natural.
It's a good use of a skull bow.
For sure.
And Rono's like, oh, God, I thought I had him. Merc.
Weird shit happened.
Oh dear. Well, I will enter my rage.
There we
my
go.
first action to finally get things going here. So the first round was taking a mulligan. If I take a mulligan, I just get like all that 60 hit points back. Is that
If you
allowed?
can't take, if I can't take a mulligan on the camera, you can't take a mulligan on your action.
We'll edit it in post. It's fine. I'm gonna try. I wouldn't want to do that. I would deeply bother me. The rules lawyer in me would be like sick.
I know it's just the thought. Okay. So what do you actually do?
What I actually do is, how far is it through that path and around?
Oh, to come all the way around here.
Yeah,
Ooh, boy.
because I can't really get through. Is there space for me up there?
It's about 90 feet to come all the way around.
Wow, that's tough.
Because we
Okay.
have to push through some difficult terrain over there
Okay.
as the trail chokes up.
Well, all right then. Yeah, I will move.
However, you're not affected by difficult terrain, are you?
Not anything non-magical.
This is not a magical difficult terrain.
Then I will move. Yeah. Oh, so you're saying it's less than that?
It's less than 90. It's about 75.
Okay. So I can. 75 is unfortunately just outside of what I need. So I will draw my bastard sword in both hands, and then move once, so 35 feet down that alcove.
Over this way?
Yep. Working towards getting around those trees.
Okay.
That'll be me.
2 actions, isn't it? Oh, yeah,
Rage draw. When I don't rage on initiative, it costs me an action.
That is
Yep.
good for me to know. Great. That brings us to Amon. Theo.
All right. Well, I'm gonna swing at the one right in front of Remy again.
Okay, that's the one that has been hurt. His wounds are closing.
27,
Oh, ouch. That is a hit.
and that is 12 points of damage.
Okay. Man, he is grievously wounded.
Okay, I'm gonna swing again, and that is 18 to hit.
18 does not hit your
Okay.
foe.
And then my third action to raise my shield.
Okay. That'll bring us to Lysander.
Great.
You have this grievously wounded Marco right in front of you.
With having Mert moved around that, can I see him through this foliage, or is it too dense that I can't even
It's
see him at all?
very dark and dense.
Okay, great.
You may
Then,
not see him.
sure. First action, Remy kick his ass, and so Remy's going to take both of his actions and attack.
Go ahead.
Don't worry,
That is a
Lysander.
25 to hit.
25 hits.
That's 23 points of damage.
What?
You may go ahead and dispatch your foe.
Nice.
So Remy just, I say, kill this guy, and Remy just kind of goes and shrugs his shoulders and then just like shoves his whole hand like right through the midsection through his chest and then just pulls it out, and you get kind of that sick like sound as he kind of sloughs it off. And then
It's disgusting.
and just like I'm still like pointing at the guy, my eyes kind of go like, oh, and then I just go, and I just kind of shift who I'm pointing at. It's just for effect. Like I'm just like, now this guy, get him.
Okay.
So that was one action for me to have Remy attack. And there's now a 5-foot square there, correct?
Yes.
He will take that step forward to occupy that space. Yep. And that leaves me with 2 actions left.
Okay.
And I will cast. I will cast Protect Companion.
Okay.
Do I want that?
I believe you.
The way it's going so far.
I'll go ahead and cast Protect Companion on. No, I don't think that's what I want. No. I'll cast Protection because I'm right there by not Zareth.
The artist formerly.
Yeah,
known
the
as
artist formerly known as Zareth.
Old habits die hard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right behind him.
I will reach up and touch his back, and I will cast Protection on him.
Whoa.
Cool.
So
Okay.
you will gain a +1 status bonus to your armor class and saving throws.
Okay, great.
All right. We'll see if that helps out our new friend Amon after the break.
Oh, come
Oh
on,
man,
What?
Yeah, I can't believe it's already like.
Dude.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten to get into the fight. I just got my butt kicked and
We're
ran
getting
away.
there. We're getting there. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to take a little break. We usually take a mid-ep break. The cast will kind of feed off a little bit and do their thing. And as they filter back, then I'll go. But while they're gone, I'll stay on here and I'll pull up chat. A lot of times, Jenny, if you're going to stay and hang out and pull up chat with me, we'll find any questions, concerns, or comments you want to talk about, anything else you want to talk about to kind of hang out with you guys on the break. And then as soon as I get back, we'll get right back into round 3 of this harrowing combat.
Bullshit combat.
Harrowing bullshit. Your miles may vary. So again, everybody that's out there, if you're new watching, if you met us at PopCon, we were so glad to meet you there. Thank you for hanging out with us, playing some bar fights for bonding, watching Chevy and I back in the back painting some miniatures. We had all sorts of fun and shenanigans going on all 3 days of PopCon. We are going to be back at PopCon 2026, so be sure to join us then. It's going to be a little bit earlier, and not technically summer, it'll be late spring actually. May
8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, there we go. So it's already been planned. We are already going to be there. Thanks again to the organizers of PopCon. We thank you so much for allowing us the space to meet everyone that was going right by the main entrances to the vendor hall, to the ticket booths. What a great time. I only got to go one day, but I had a super blast the time I was there. So.
Oh my god, it's so tiring.
It
But
is
so fun.
It's convention season, and it is exhausting, but such an experience. And Joseph, I think that was your first con, right?
That was my first con I've ever been to. I had a lot of fun checking out the vendor hall and some of the other events they had going on. I had a lot of fun interacting with the people that stopped by to see us. I had a lot of fun just watching Bar Fights for Bonding because I didn't see anyone. Everyone I saw was just having a blast with it. It was fun to see people who walked up and I, try to explain what we were doing. Hey, you guys interested in tabletop RPGs? And I don't have any. I don't know how to do it. And saying, this would be a good intro into it and explaining how it works. And then be like, okay, we'll try it. And then 30 minutes later, they're walking out just laughing, having a good time.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun to be a part of.
Just had a blast.
Yeah. No, it was great.
It's great.
So again, we'll be at PopCon again next year. We have lots of things in the works already for next year's PopCon. We're already in planning mode, so we're gonna have
I
a great
started
time.
planning the day before PopCon.
Yes, we it's one of our favorite conventions of the year. Gen Con is coming up as well. If you're in the Indianapolis area, that's the hugest gaming convention. It'll be here in the Circle Center, July 31st, August 1st, August 2nd. And August 3rd? Don't quote me on the dates. It might be 30, 31, 1st, 2nd. But yeah, many of us from the Elite Encounters crew will be there. So if you see us, walking around, we might have some of our swag on. So say hi. Let us know you're watching. Let us know what you think of the show if you see us.
It should be if it's the last weekend of July, it's going to be the 30th, which is Thursday, because Gen
Yes.
Con is the best 4 days of gaming.
Absolutely. Yep. So
30, 31, 1, 2.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Yep. I knew I was close. But yeah, that last weekend of July bleeding over into August. And what a great time Gen Con is as well. What else?
I'm hoping one day we'll get there.
Yeah, so Bloodlords, we have just started book 2 of the campaign. It is a pre-written, published adventure. Paizo calls these adventure paths. They're published material that come in a serial form, where you basically get the books one after the other to form a full campaign. This one is a 6-book campaign that will take these characters all the way to level 20, should they survive. Sorry. I mean, you got to survive. But it goes all the way to level 20, and the amount of world-shattering events that will take place during this campaign as they go through and progress through this storyline will be very interesting as these burgeoning Bloodlords learn to grow into their power and become administrators and rulers of this undead nation of Geb. So I'm very much looking forward to see what happens with that.
So we have someone new in the chat.
Yeah?
Hello, Commissar Jean? Yes, maybe, perhaps. We are on break. We will be coming back, and we are mid-combat. So,
Yeah. So don't go anywhere.
We're fighting brownies.
Red caps and iron-toed boots.
Yeah.
So do with that what you will. But we are mid-combat. So usually our episodes are 6:30 to 9:30 Eastern time live. So if you come in a little late, usually around 8 o'clock-ish, we're going to take a short break as cast and crew will kind of go off and, refresh themselves. And then as they filter back, I'll step away as well. But we'll continue to engage and talk with you guys. If you have any questions about the campaign or where we're at in the story, as I was just saying, we just started book 2 of this pre-written adventure. Everyone is level 4, and they're uncovering new powers right here at the table. I'm being taken by surprise left and right already, so I'm having a great time.
Yeah, Remy is swole.
Yeah, he is swole.
20 damage. Now, kind of out of the character, that Is that the rot aura? Is he really doing that much damage?
So he does that much damage.
That
So
is
he's
horrifying and awesome.
At 4th level, Lysander became a mature Beastmaster,
Right.
and so he gains extra abilities.
Yeah, whatever is it mature companion?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That is
So
awesome.
It allows him to. He does essentially gives him like, it's not a striking room, but it doubles the damage die he's doing, and then it's. What in the hell are you doing over there?
Explode your case.
Clip it.
We are live.
Dang. But yeah, so it's he gets pretty beefy.
Yeah.
But Patrick, if you want to go ahead and head that way, I'll hold down the fort with the entertainment.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I love it. I thank you for saying entertainment. I don't know that I was entertaining, but I'll roll with it.
It's all the special effects.
Oh no, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, don't watch your screen too closely as the special effects will... you can't
Green
see
screen
it.
out.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah. So talking about PopCon, right? So we did have a special appearance of Barnabas and Barnabas Brushes. He came in and set up a little booth setup area in our little room, and he painted some minis for a few hours. The Chevy, who plays on the Soul Severed campaign, brought his painting stuff, and they set up this little dynamic duo of paint brothers, and they just kind of went to town. And Chevy painted a dragon, and I know Barnabas was painting a set of lizard folk.
Yeah, it was really cool to see each of them paint, and each of them paint with the techniques they were using.
Yeah.
'Cause, Patrick is a big Zenithal Slaptrap Prime with the speed paints on top to add that pigment, and to watch Chevy kind of do it the old-fashioned way with some acrylics and washes and stuff was super cool too.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see those two styles kind of contrast and kind of see what those final products look like contrasted, and it was definitely sweet. Both of those guys are extremely talented. It was cool to see the final product and to kind of just peek over every now and again, being in the room, and be like, man, they're making some quick, tidy progress on these things.
Yeah.
The dragon that Nate painted with like the the glow effect on the base,
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, and if you want to catch some images, I know Nate or we posted some pictures of them in the Discord channel. So if you are not in the Discord channel, I'm sure our awesome Laura will send that link, and you can join the Discord channel and stay up to date with all things Elite Encounters. And I know I heard that we were talking about PopCon for next year while I was away from the table. There is tentative dates. I am always hesitant this early to kind of announce when those dates are, but I know they announced them at the con. But I'll give it a few more weeks before we start laying down the exact dates, just in case any of the PopCon guys have any kind of fallout or anything from making sure the dates are the exact right?
Yep.
They always announce it at the end of one con to the next. But there have been a couple of occasions where the dates have changed as the year has gone on.
Sure, there could be some conflicts.
We just want to make sure that we're accurate as we, give out that information. So.
But we look forward to seeing you next year, and we're excited to bring bigger and better things every single year that we come.
Yeah.
And we're excited to be there. Perhaps next year we'll have, same deal, bar fights for bonding, which will be a blast. I've been kind of noodling about putting together some elite encounters of your own to come enjoy. So we might throw together some iconic characters from our campaign, Soul Severed, Bloodlords, etc., and maybe you get to kind of pilot them for a short time to kind of get the feel for what they would be like.
We could doctor up some of the encounters that we've had, like
Absolutely.
maybe this one here, and then have different people at the table play out the exact encounter that we ran through and see how they handle it.
Yeah,
Guaranteed
so
they'll
if
live
you-
longer than I will.
Oh,
So if anyone wants to betray their own friends, they can.
Yeah, they could pay. They
dang.
could play.
Okay, so I wasn't going to go there, but I suppose, yeah. If you're laying it down thick,
Since we're talking about
betraying
PopCon,
friends.
yeah. Since we're talking about PopCon, shout out to the tech crew because that was a huge undertaking for them to move our gear there and then get it all set back up here. It's been cool to see everything that goes into it.
Yeah, these guys moved mountains over the weekend to get all that equipment there so you guys could get a flavor for what it looked like and record kind of footage of what we had going on in the room, and then get it all back here and all put together and all plugged back in the right way and
The first time.
and actually functioning, which is a miracle,
Yes.
is beyond me. So the
Yeah.
talent and skill and the attention to detail that these guys put in is huge. So we're very, very appreciative to our tech team for making that happen.
Yep, it was really cool to. I mean, I was just trying to stay out of the way, but because it's like stepping aside so the emergency personnel can manage the situation.
Yeah.
It's like I'm here if you need any help, but no, it was they definitely know what they're doing, and it was cool to watch.
I think tentatively after what we walked through PopCon, I think we put over 400 individual slots in bar fights for bonding. Now there may
That's
be people,
incredible.
there may be people who played multiple times,
Right.
But there were 400 plus individual slots filled for the game over the course of
Jeez.
the 3 days. And just to give you a small example, right? So we did bar fights for bonding the very first time in Louisville,
Yep.
PopCon last year, and I think maybe we put maybe 110, and that's being very, very generous.
Yeah.
Over the 3 days, but this year. This year, we put like 400 plus through that room.
It felt like a true bar fight because
Oh, dude.
the room was packed, and yeah, things were getting wild towards the end of each hour when people were knocking each other out left and right. There were some really awesome sudden deaths at the end of that with the last two people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was electric watching those last few dice hit and bobble off of a miss to a hit.
Right.
And, yeah, it was a blast. It was a blast, everyone that came out to play.
And again, I just want to thank PopCon for allowing us to have that platform every year, right?
Yeah, that is massive.
And allowing us to be externally available, so you don't necessarily have to have a badge for PopCon to come hang out and do what we're
Yep.
doing.
Yeah.
Which is always a cool thing. So, no badge, no bucks, no problem. You can come play bar fights for bonding. If B-Rock was going to say it, you get the no badge, no bucks, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah, but it's always an awesome opportunity to build community and just to see people who are like, hey, I watched this on the I watched the show, or hey, I don't know anything about what the heck is a TTRPG, and then you explain it to them and they're like, oh,
I can get
stuff
into
like that exists,
Yeah.
right? And you just watch their eyes open because being free and in the hall, like I can't tell you the number of people that would walk in that didn't have a badge or weren't going there for the thing and just are walking by and stop and see what the heck's going on in this room. That's crazy.
Or
Yeah.
people working. Like
Yeah.
there were some people that were working other events or other rooms, and they were like, "What's this?" And explaining it to them, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to see some of the other vendors check us out, kind of support the community of vendors at that con is something special. It's cool to see everybody cooperate and
Yep.
and take care of each other and network. It's a cool,
We had our
cool
neighbor
platform
come
for that.
over.
For sure, the
Yeah.
neighbor room. Yep.
Yep.
And as we wrap up, and I'm going to hand it back over to Patrick to lead into our eventual demise. If you're new in the channel, hit that follow button.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And if you happen to be on YouTube, we love you guys too. Hit that subscribe button. Grab your friends. Tell them to come hang out with us for 3 hours on Monday and Tuesday.
Please do.
And just unplug and let us entertain you and have
Yeah.
let us tell you a good story. I don't know how entertaining we are, but let us tell you a good story while Patrick kills us.
Also, and next PopCon is going to be a little different. We have a lot of ideas.
Lots
we
of-
got to
yes.
get ironed out, and it's going to be fun.
Let's
it's going
go.
to be different.
Absolutely.
I'm looking
Now,
forward
I
to
have
it.
ideas.
Yeah.
We're
Back
gonna
to
go.
not fun. Getting
right.
my face pushed
Right.
in.
You're telling me.
This is
Fighting.
still fun, right?
Oh, it's very fun. I mean, Jacob is having fun.
I was over there hexing your dice while you were gone, so
I brought it back upset. Okay.
I don't like the brownies.
they don't like you either.
Yeah. Okay, it is the top of round 3. We're going to get right back into it, right back into the combat. With that will bring us to Alara because old Marco has met his demise at the hands of Remington the zombie. What you got, Alara?
Yay!
All right, Alara is going to cast Noise Blast on our little friend.
Oh.
So,
Is that an area effect?
yes, and it's a 10-foot area effect, but I will, obviously.
Right,
yeah.
I will obviously go
Put it
for
right here on Remington.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
as
right
many
on
of my
Remington.
allies as possible. No.
What-
She would
is
has
the-
as many allies as I can hit.
What's the range on that?
30 feet. I'm within 30 feet, right? Or do I need to move?
You are, but to target it a little bit behind him. Let's see here.
Which I can move if I need to.
Yeah, you probably want to move up just a little bit right
Perfect.
here, and then you can lob it and put it right here, and it would only hurt poor old Rolno What did he ever do to you?
I don't feel sorry for him.
Well, he hasn't done anything to her, but
Yeah.
Oh, boy. What did I
We
ever do
like
to you?
Mert. We like him.
I just don't like the cut of his jib. That's it.
Oh, I don't even have a jib.
Your hat's ugly.
So this is just a fortitude save.
Okay. Alrighty. Fortitude. Oh, no. Huh. Well. It's a 26.
Oh, what the?
jeez.
Holy shit!
Yep. Yeah, these guys are no joke. I mean, welcome to level 4.
Jeez, what a rude awakening.
Yeah, but what level are they?
That's what you need to
47.
know, and you to find out
This
if
is
you
the
made a
bristle bore
successful
of-
recall knowledge check.
Okay, so you still take that's not critical though, so you still take half.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
2d10.
Ooh, 2d10 is juicy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is just straight up sonic damage. It's nothing.
Correct. It is just
Okay.
sonic. Wait, that was 3. Did you come hex my dice while I was there?
No. Just his.
Oh, so 3. So so half of 3.
Half.
Wait.
Yeah.
So 3 isn't the.
no, that's not the
knowledge
half.
check,
That's
the total.
Yeah. I wanted to get I wanted to get some real bad rolls out of there.
You rolled
And
2
what was
d10.
the-
You got 3.
I got a 1 and a 2.
Oh my.
What was,
God.
what was the name of that
2D.
spell? Noise poof.
Oh, is that how we're doing this?
Yeah.
Careless whispers.
Shrieking kazoo.
Oh my
That's right.
So I'll take that point of damage, and it'll be Ophelia's turn.
Oh my.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know what? I really want this spell to work on somebody because everybody I've casted it on is like, ooh, I'm undead. I'm immune to poison.
Hey,
Okay, these are not undead.
I know.
but you're gonna find out they're immune to poison. No.
Hey, you shut up. Don't jinx me.
Give me some ideas.
I'm going
we
to
go.
cast. I'm within 30. I'm going to cast Ink Shot
Yeah.
There we
okay.
go.
at Mr. Roll, whatever his name is.
Uh huh.
Roll now. Roll now.
Roll down.
Whatever.
Roll dough.
I don't
Okay,
know.
so yep, go ahead and
Make a spell attack.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Today could be the day.
That is a 27.
There you go.
Wow, that is a hit.
That is, let's see,
Wow. Okay.
it's a 2d6 for poison.
Okay. Okay.
It's all right.
Did you touch my d6, Alara?
Oh no.
Everything's been
Oh
hexed.
no.
We gotta start over and kill it with fire.
Okay, he's gonna take 4.
Oh.
Okay. 4
Plus,
It's twice as much damage as a large.
it's his eyes,
Yeah.
so this inky black, his inky blackness sprays into his eyes, and
Yeah. Undazzled for a round.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So that'll basically make everyone concealed to me. So flat check 5 to even try
Heck
to
yeah,
hit somebody.
that's huge.
Okay. You do have 1 action left,
I do.
which you cannot use to recall knowledge.
Who
I
says?
can recall knowledge even after I've already recalled knowledge.
Well, once you fail, you know what you know,
Yeah.
right? You can't keep trying.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I can
No,
recall
I
knowledge.
was
Yeah.
sorry. It was me being sarcastic.
Well, you fail.
Thanks.
You forgot to turn the font on.
Or did you fail your sense motive?
Good question.
No, I'm gonna blame you.
This is the post-con weirdos
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I am
For
going to move up beside Amon.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Nailed it.
That's
That's
not
the
me.
wrong person.
Okay.
Just keeping us honest, I know.
Thanks for the tip. Okay, you're right next to him on. That's Ophio's turn. It is Roll-No's turn. And he saw old poor Marco go down. And he's like, Marco, you promised to help me get me AIDS. No, you're going to have to pay. Okay.
Doesn't his head count?
Oh, good point.
Ooh.
Well, now that you mention it.
And the 4 or 5.
Yeah, you should take all 3 of your actions to start beheading him. That would be great.
Don't mind me.
And he has 5 heads on his belt?
That's a nice try.
That's, I mean, I would take that. That's
Let's swing the halberd at old Amon over there. Okay. That was a very nice attempt to get me to change up my tactics, but does a 23 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. So this halberd's gonna come through here for 13 points of slashing damage against you. And then he'll hit you with his gnarly little boot, natural 20.
Okay. I took.
What on earth
Dead
with these
serious.
boots, man? You
I
did like
sh-
4 of those.
I shield blocked that
Shield block
first
the boot.
hit, so I.
Oh, you shield
my-
block the first one.
Yeah. So me and my shield each took 5 points of damage.
Got it. So you can't shield block this old boot right in the groins. Natural 20. It does translate to a 28, so I'm assuming that's going to crit.
Sure
Sorry,
does.
27. 27.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we'll get out
Rude.
the old red card. This is a lot of
27's a
red
crit
cards.
on you?
Hmm.
27's
So
a crit?
because it's a natural 20, it hits the natural 20, then escalates it to the next level.
Perfect.
Oh.
Perfect explanation of what's about to go down as you get hit by
Bullshit.
this really penetrating wound. The attack ignores all your resistances. Okay, which you don't have any.
Oh yeah.
Wel-
No.
yeah,
that's
welcome to
fine.
fourth
But I
level.
still
Never-
do
Well-
some double damage.
I do as a zombie, but not with that.
Okay. You're not resistant to piercing.
I am not. No.
Okay. So here we go. This is going to be 18 points of damage as it
Ouch.
kicks you right in.
right in the
The
what?
splits.
Yeah, right in the what for?
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to take your head.
Can I shield block that, or can I not? Since I already did.
Once
this
you shield block once, your reaction is gone. Right?
Okay.
It's a reaction, and you get one reaction return, barring any weirdo
Yeah,
feats,
for now.
feats or anything.
For now.
Okay, so I don't get to do that. I don't get to do that. So he's gonna level his halberd at you again. Oh boy! I even changed dice. This is a 21 to hit.
No.
Okay. Well, fair enough. And you do see Rono's wounds close up as he is going to town on you. So all that damage I took, murked.
That's rude.
I'm going to try my best to start counteracting that. If I'm within 70, I'm going to sudden charge.
Hold on to that thought,
Oh, holding.
because we forgot that he was dazzled. So before you take off,
Right.
I do have to make flat check 5s on those hits.
Great
There's
call.
only 2 hits, right? So
Yeah,
the
good
first
catch.
one was a 4. So that, when you shield blocked, you didn't even need to do that.
Yeah.
So your shield was still raised. Here comes the dazzled. Oh my god. Natural 3. None of that.
None of
would
that
happen.
happened.
I hate to have to do that.
No, but good catch now.
we have to, because he
Yeah.
was in fact dazzled.
Yeah.
Thanks to the ink shot spell.
Yeah.
It finally worked!
It finally worked. So congratulations. And,
Lysander, Lysander, they're living!
Ah, yes indeed.
Living targets are great.
Yeah, for the first time in forever.
and that was pretty creative, so I'm going to give you that since you got to have so much joy with that
Heck
spell.
yeah, that's great.
That now brings us to Mert.
All right. Now,
Sorry about that.
I'm totally fine with it.
Okay,
I
great.
said, no, please
I
give me
thought
the
you would
damage
be.
back. Yeah.
More of that, please.
So if I'm within 70, I'm going to sudden charge. So charge up, stride twice, and hit him at the end of my movement.
And you can do that in just any old line, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a straight line. It's just stride twice. So
Yeah, you can easily get there.
can
and
I get
we'll,
into a flanking?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So I run up with that bastard sword and just take a big broad sweep.
And he is off guard to that.
Yep.
Oh no, where did he come from?
Tricky.
Oh, it was like right on 15, just fell over.
I say not a lot this weekend.
Brutal. An 18 if he's off guard.
He is
Oh.
off guard.
And Rally Anthem was not sustained, right? So that's no longer in effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
So it's an 18.
Mm-hmm.
He is off guard. That's a hit.
Ooh.
yes. Okay. That is superb news.
It's just in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the favor will swing into your
Course.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yep. A 2 and a 4 on D12. So that's
Oh
Can't read
no.
my damn metaphors.
so 13 points of damage.
13, okay, that's pretty good. And this is slashing, I take it?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Magical slash.
sure.
And then, yeah, I guess just go for broke. I will swing again.
Okay. Taking off that map.
Yeah. How about a 12?
Okay. Well, with your tone, I think you already know the answer.
Mert's not looking so hot. He's trying his best, but he's grievously wounded.
That is not a hit, but you do have your new friend Amon in a flanking position to help you out.
Yeah, I
What's
hope I
your turn?
live long enough to take advantage of it.
We'll see. It is your turn.
Oh, okay. Is protection still active?
It is.
Okay. I'm going to take a swing.
That will last 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
That is a 27 to hit.
27 hits. In fact, he's off guard, so 27 is a critical hit.
Oh. Well.
Okay.
I could see the formula like flashing around your brains as you're figuring this out.
Yeah, okay. Bear with me as I'm doing math.
Okay.
That's 12 points of damage, which I would double, so 24 plus my deadly D8. That's 30 points of damage.
30 points of damage. And
Yes.
Amon, I would invite you to dispatch your foe.
Whoa!
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of like skulk at him. Just
Ooh. And you can see like the shock in his eyes as his red hat goes flopping to the ground and he just crumples to the ground. And when he does, one of those heads like smacks against the forest floor and the jaw pops open and a key falls out onto the forest floor.
What?
Like hit like one of their heads or the heads they collect?
On the
The
belt.
heads that they had on the belt.
Okay.
They were collecting heads.
Yes.
If he would have just taken his buddies' heads,
I know. He could have
and
been
he could have gone home.
right.
But no.
We can't do that to poor Marco. He was my friend. We was mates.
Was.
Yeah, was is the operative term, as combat is now ended and you have
Shush your dad.
dispatched both of your foes. And despite Berlin's warnings or admonitions, these were not friendly people.
I thought there was gonna be nice Faye.
I'm going to, so Amon, like I kind of slowly and solemnly, like I sheath my machete, I walk up to the one I just killed, pick up the top of its skull that I just cut off, and then with like the brains in it,
Uh-huh.
and then kind of just look at it and think for a second, and then I just like walk around the tree, and you hear like.
Hey, you guys gotta eat.
Oh, okay.
I'm searching their pockets.
All right. So you search their pockets.
I picked the key up.
You do pick that key up, yeah. The key has, as you pick it up and kind of wipe the moist forest floor detritus off of it, it seems to have this kind of like a faint glow to it.
Oh, really? I'll read aura on it as well.
Okay, so you spend a minute checking that out. It is in fact magical.
Hey guys, we got a magic key.
Cool.
Don't know what it goes to, but we have a key and it's magical.
Mert, you need some help.
Yeah, Mert is gonna step into like that little shaded grove that he ran through and try to find a place that's somewhat protected to start patching himself up for sure.
So you're going back the other direction?
Just where I ran through. You see there's like a little grove there. I might just sneak in there since it seems somewhat protected. And then just start working on myself. That seems like a safe-ish place to do it.
I think you should just stay with us.
Anyway, bye guys. I gotta go patch myself up.
Yeah.
So while Murda is doing that off in the woods, you're studying this key. You do know it's magical. Do you want to give it a crack at identification?
Yes.
Okay. I would take an occultism for that, because any tradition works, and it looks like your strongest is occultism, if I'm not mistaken.
Arcana
And
is
Arcana,
10
too.
is 2.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look here. Okay. This is just enough to realize that this is something called a sneaky key.
A sneaky key.
Yeah. So it is a talisman. So it's a kind of a one-shot. It's a one item use. It's consumable basically. So this has to be like a little talisman that you hang on your armor. It's a small silver skeleton key that you can pin to your armor or to your sleeve if you're not wearing armor. When you turn the key to activate it, you will gain a +1 status bonus to any thievery checks to pick a lock for a minute. The first time you get a success or critical success on that attempt to pick a lock, you get an additional success toward that lock. Right, usually opening locks take several successful attempts to pick it, depending on the quality of the lock. So if you succeed with this and you've activated and turned it on, 1 success gets you 2, a critical success gets you 3. Pretty handy.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
So this key will help me pick a lock.
Hold on to it.
So I'm going to put it away.
Okay, do you want to pin it to your clothing at all? Because in order to use it, it has to be pinned to your body.
Mert,
Yes.
do you need help, buddy?
I'm going to put it
I've
to
got-
my sleeve.
Perfect.
I've got some of the wounds patched. I'm gonna need more time. That's just basically the gouts of blood out of my chest and legs and arms and head. I might got a couple of them patched up, so I've healed up a little, but I need some serious healing to get myself back in decent shape. So,
So we're sitting at about an hour so far.
if we take a full hour, I only took 10 minutes,
Oh,
but
you
I
only
can
did the
take
10 minutes?
I can take another 50 minutes and see where that gets us.
That's entirely up to you and your friends.
I think I need that time for the most part if we're going to start pushing into more unknown territory, but
I would be willing to,
speed things up.
yeah, I'd be willing to speed things up for you if you'd like.
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah.
Do these guys have anything
I'll
else
walk
on their
around
pockets?
the little ledge there, or hedge, where Mert's kind of got himself kind of bunkered down, and I'll cast a rank 1 harm at 2 actions.
Sweet.
You'll heal back 13.
Nice. Okay.
Do you need more?
I'm still grievously wounded, but I can start working on myself too if you need me to.
I can.
I will nudge the scales and give you. That would be 11.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely helps. I probably will take another 10 minutes to continue to patch myself up.
And I will take
And that
2
will-
minutes to refocus.
I was gonna say that'll help you refocus.
100%.
So, all right.
Love that.
Alara will refocus as well.
As all this is going on, I come back from around the tree with just like, my face is a little bloody and just kind of look disappointed. I sit down and like sullenly attempt to fix my shield.
Okay.
19 crafting.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that would restore hit points to the shield.
Hey, you got better at crafting when you became a
And-
zombie.
And Lysander, after you've refocused, I'm pretty much good after the healing I was able to do on myself. So, I think I'm all right.
I'll go ahead and just nudge scales again for you.
Okay. Yeah, if you nudge me one more time, that'll
Yeah.
probably top me off.
Gotcha. So 11.
Great.
So I can't track, but can I look and see where these guys had come from?
So you kind of look around,
Oh,
and because
but
of the wet forest floor,
Yeah.
there's not really a good way to set tracks. But
Everything's gushy.
yeah, everything is like it kind of would absorb tracks, so it's
Sure.
difficult for sure, especially for someone not trained in survival. However, as you are looking
Yes.
around, you do get the sensation that you are being watched,
Oh.
and you kind of like stop when you get that sensation, like the hairs on the back of your neck just raise, like someone has you in their sights, and you turn to look and you see like eyes at the edge of the tree line, but they're a wolf, maybe a dog, something like that, and then it kind of realizes you've seen it, and it kind of just goes off into the underbrush.
There's some very smart things out here, because we're being watched.
Oh.
Watched? More like hunted.
Something. So, sorry, I forgot what.
Oh, it's
The,
kind of a creepy curveball.
This, these things, are brownies. Is what I got. I don't know if you caught that. I didn't know that they were so violent.
I didn't get that feeling. But yes, I'm certainly going to have to explain to Miss Haldoli that there don't seem to be very many friendly fae in these woods.
Well, we've only met two, so
Yes.
we can't really say that there's no friendly ones because
And it doesn't feel like the They must not be very good at their treat business if they're just going to kill everybody that they see.
Well, hopefully the other Fae we run into do not have spiked boots and halberds.
Is there anything interesting about the heads they have?
That is a very good question. So most of them are human. A lot of them are in a kind of more advanced state of decay because they've been on their belt for some time. All of the brains are currently intact in all of those heads. But let's see.
It's like snack-sized rations for a zombie.
Doing this. I'm going to do a medicine check for you to kind of get a sense of like how bad these things, like how long they've been hanging here. Some of these heads have probably been swinging from these belts for a few days. They're not in great shape, but they all appear to be mostly human men. There are a couple elf men heads on the belt.
All quick?
Yes.
Are they?
Okay. I'm gonna take like 4 of them, and
Okay. Each head is 1 bulk.
wait, really?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't think it's in the rule book like how much bulk a head is, but that seems reasonable for a medium-sized creature.
So I'm just trying to picture this because these were like smaller creatures, correct?
They were, yeah.
With like a multitude of human-sized heads attached to them.
Mhm.
That's lovely.
Yeah. They were dangling from their belt and they were like well past their knees.
What is this great number of quick doing in the middle of this woods? Doesn't seem like a very welcoming place.
Yeah. I mean, if they were recently-ish dead, that means all of these people have come through at least some,
Sure.
you know,
I suppose we could take
foul
it as
plan.
I suppose we could take it as a positive sign, perhaps, that there is other inhabitants that are quick humans. Hopefully, they're not as nefarious as these brownies, I suppose.
Do you have?
I don't know.
Do you
They
know
have
what they are?
red caps and iron boots. That's all I know.
Love it.
As they're having this discussion and they talking about like what are these people doing in the woods, you have this vaguest memory of knowing about Grey Dirge and that, you know, being in this close proximity to the Axon Woods, there probably were some loggers that would come in here for lumber from time to time to supply Grey Dirge.
Okay. I share that information with the party.
Probably not for building material, more for, you know, wood crafting or firewood or what have you.
Loggers. That makes sense.
Some of those boots might fit you if you wanted to have some violent toe boots.
I suppose I could look them over, see if they're something that I could
Worth
actually be
incorporating.
looted off of them and fit me, but probably slim chance considering I'm a ghost halfling. But maybe they fit me.
If you want to spend some time incorporating them, there is they do give off a horrible stench, but yeah, you can incorporate them and they would fit. You are of small stature. They were of small stature. They would maybe a little loose in the toe, but and they're heavy.
Yeah,
Well, maybe they're not once they're incorporated to a ghost.
sure. Yeah, but I'll at least stick a pair in my pack for the moment and maybe decide whether or not I want to stick them on.
Weapon boots.
I love it.
Maybe
One pair
maybe I
of
can take
boots.
some time to clean them off before I decide
Spiky
to.
boots, okay? 1 pair of spiky boots.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to wash them before I start clomping around.
And I will say that when you put them on, you have to talk like the guy that wore them.
Hey,
Mert will
I
not
do
do that.
have message to
Nor will
talk to.
Jacob.
I can clean your boots.
Yes.
So they are well-worn leather boots with an iron toe
Yeah.
over the
Right.
toe portion of the boot, and it does kind of bear like this kind of wicked
Spike.
on the tip.
Cool.
Perfectly made for kicking.
Very cool.
Yeah, very very punk rock. That's what they were. They weren't pixies or brownies. They were punks. They were pickled punks in the woods.
Sure.
Okay,
Where's their jars?
they left him at home.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
We're going to stay on the path.
So yeah, you make your way back to the path. It is getting fairly late in the evening. We know that Amon has already had some form of food. So appetites, you realize you're feeling maybe a little peckish yourself, and it has gotten very dark. And you can look up through the canopy and see that the stars have come out. That it is very cloudy. It looks like it may rain this evening, but there is stars and just the faintest sliver of a moon out right now. So you know it is now passed into nighttime.
Before we venture to bed, I will gather everyone together. I'm assuming we're getting our stuff out to kind of hunker down and hold up, or are we going to try and push through?
I don't mind
Where are we gonna go?
going through the night. I mean, might be harder to follow the trails, though.
Maybe.
Yeah, you would be, those that are still living, they would start feeling very tired as well.
Like me.
And me.
Well, I suppose if you two need some rest, we should call it a day, and I can take first watch. And I'll shake my head. Boop. A little candlelight turns on.
Okay, so it does take some time to get out do you have any camping gear? What do you have to set up a camp here out in the middle of the woods?
I have some camping gear, but I'm going to go around and collect some wood and start a fire. For those that prefer to stay warm, and then I'll spend some time to just, after that's go around and collect some more firewood. I don't need as much sleep, so rest. So I'll work on collecting some wood to keep them warm.
Okay. And what is everybody else doing as they're setting up this camp, I suppose?
I think everyone is kind of working their way around. I'm just going to take quick inventory of those who have been kicked by those boots, and as they're kind of milling about, I think it was just Remy and Amon that took damage after obviously healing our good friend here. But as they kind of come in and out, I'll use some level 1 spells for harm.
Okay.
2 actions to heal both Remy and Amon.
Sure.
Cool.
So, yeah. Alara, anything in particular you're doing as camp gets set up?
No, get my bedroll out to float over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, same. I'll be unrolling my bedroll and perhaps getting a small pot out to cook up some things with my flint and steel.
Well, we did know that we were coming out to the woods, so there's no reason that we wouldn't have bought tent supplies.
Did you, though?
Mert has them.
I mean,
We did take a day.
If you
we
have,
did take a day, so we will do all that off air. If you had the money to buy that sort of thing, then you can spend some time setting up a tent or two, so that people have a means to sleep out from under the open air if they so choose. So you go about setting up your tent that you purchased, or tents plural, and you would have room to store those tents in your spacious pouch, so that's not a problem with carrying. Okay. Amon, as you are out gathering up another bundle of wood to keep the fire going, this may be your second, possibly third trip. You're picking up wood, and then you stop and sense eyes on you, and you stand up to look around, and at the maybe 20-30 feet ahead of you on the trail is a woman.
Ooh.
Faint slivers of moonlight shine between the leaves as a woman approaches the edge of your camp. She's dressed as a simple peasant with long draping sleeves and unbound auburn hair, carrying a basket laden with red apples over one arm. "Oh, hail! I'm Drusilla, a woman of the forest. It's getting dark, and I seem to have lost my way. Could I possibly take shelter with you tonight? I see that you've lit a fire."
And I'll cry out, "Who goes there?" But I intentionally do it loud enough to rouse and alert the others.
Okay. The others all hear what you shout out. Maybe 20 feet into the trees. So you hear, I almost said it. You hear Amon call out, "Who goes there?" "Well, as I said, I'm Drusilla, a woman, just a woman of the forest, please. Well, I'm a bit lost and I'm worried that I won't be able to get home to my husband in time. I'll share my food with you if that helps.
Come closer.
So you come up and approach this. Oh, well met. Do you have companions with you? Well, there's safety in numbers. My husband always says so. He always told me if I got lost in the woods, find friendly people, and you'll find your way home. My name, she gives a curtsy, a polite curtsy. My name is Drusilla. My husband's not far, I'm sure. I think I took a wrong turn. I get so caught up when I'm out collecting apples, And, well, now I'm afraid I'm a bit lost, but...
We'll come by the fire for a moment.
Oh, you're too kind, lass. What was your name?
Ophelia.
Ophelia. That's a beautiful name. It's so nice to meet. And well, you're...
Among.
Oh, okay. Well met. She definitely scoots closer to Ophelia. She maybe hasn't quite noticed the fangs yet. Your fire's warm, and you have a cook fire going, it looks like, a cook pot. And, oh my, ghosts and another,
Whatever the hell he is.
Well, I suppose it's safe here, right?
I probably would have run in hearing Amon, shout out and maybe follow them back to camp as well. I'd like to kind of sense motive on what all her story just seems so odd. All these dead loggers, and then she's just traipsing about
I'm
with
happy
apples.
to.
Like this woods does not. Mert isn't like trained in, nature or an arborist of any type, but it seems like a pretty dank wood to just be like bright red apples growing around.
My mother used to tell me stories about people like this.
Right.
Oh, did she now?
Yeah.
So you do get the sense that she is missing her husband. Like there is definitely kind of this wistful look in her eyes, like when she talks about her husband. You do know that she has in fact been gathering apples. That is legitimate. She has gone on, she says that the paths in these woods just don't want to be followed sometimes, but you know that that's maybe she's not being entirely forthwith.
Okay. Yeah, I think once she gets comfortable and, we're kind of just having some small talk, I just kind of, not like intimidating come at her, but just, it seems that you're not being totally outright with us. I've been following the trails, and they seem somewhat reliable despite their overgrowth. How did you really come upon us? Was it the sound of the combat?
Oh, that was you? That was you who was fighting? Oh, I tried to stay clear of old Marco and Rolno as they're out hunting. They're a dangerous lot. This woods is full of them, full of dangerous creatures. Full of creatures who don't want to be seen, or creatures who would curse you or hex you.
And trick us.
Are you normally searching for apples so late at night?
Well, sure. I love these woods, and sometimes, it's so dark in here that, well, night creeps up on you sometimes, and and then you realize, now I'm too far down the trail, and tried to make my way back to Naboa at our cottage, but I seem to have taken a wrong turn, but at least I've stumbled onto some friends.
I'll tell her I'm of these woods, and it's best if you're just honest with us. And that's a 28 deception.
Whoa.
Well, you're from these woods, you say? Well, that's interesting. I've not seen very many of your kind here, but what? Yeah. Anybody would like an apple? I'm more than happy to share. I picked a very large basket full. I don't think Nabo and I could eat it all. I'm happy to share. In exchange for the comfort and safety of your fire, of course.
You don't have to share your apples.
I'll
It's
take
very
an
much
apple.
appreciated.
Yeah, I will begin incorporating one, but it'll take me several minutes, so.
Oh, and she's watching that process very interestedly, and she also hands you an apple. Anyone else? I do have plenty.
I pull my glove off my hand and I grab the apple.
Oh, okay.
And you start kind of seeing, like, his hand kind of shaking. And I'm essentially going to use my read psychometric resonance. I'm going to see if these have been tampered with. I'm going to see if there's any kind of emotion tied to these apples.
Dearie. Look at that pretty face up there on the Twitch stream. Could you'd trust her, wouldn't you?
As long as the day is as long as the day is dark here in the woods. Here we go.
Okay. All right, so you get this impression of these apples.
Yeah.
So the impression that you get is that this was in fact picked from a living tree with care and almost like deference to the tree. You also get that it is not been tampered with
Sure.
or anything. And she's watching you and she's like, oh dear. I do understand. There is much that is poisonous in this forest, and much of that poison, well, comes from a single source these days. Oh, now that we're all friends, I would...
Almost like instantly when I'm done, he just goes,
Oh, isn't it delicious? It's a bit tart, but it is a nice apple. Now that we're all friends, I do love engaging in, games to get to know my friends around the fire. And if you don't mind, I have a few riddles I'd like to ask. Anybody like a game of riddles?
So, I'm quite fond of riddles, yes. Please share.
Great, I'll start. Oh, I love it. Before I'm born, I live in the earth, but to be shaped, I have to bathe in flames. When I die, I may be red or I may be green. What am I? And she's like very excitedly looking back and forth. Like,
Without like giving it much thought, I just shout out like a pine tree or a pine cone. I mean, a pine cone.
Oh dear. Anyone else?
he says, oh dear.
Pine cone.
I don't know. Need to be bathed in fire to be birthed, buried in the ground. So, sounds like a pine tree.
To be shaped. I did say to be shaped. I must, but whatever.
We're in the woods. It's just he didn't think real hard. Maybe he got knocked around pretty good. Okay.
It is a great guess. Unfortunately, it is wrong. Anyone else? I'll give anyone else a try.
I just kind of like narrow my eyes and I'm just watching her.
All right.
Can you say it again?
Oh, certainly. Do pay attention this time. Before I am born, I live in the earth, but to be shaped, I bathe in flames. When I die, I may be red or green. What am I?
A pine cone.
Whoa.
Oh dear.
I must have tainted the conversation.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, it's wrong. I'll go again. I'll give you a second one.
Is it clay?
Oh, you're so close, dear. Try another. Every day you'll find that I've grown, so you bite me, clip me, paint me. I'm neither flesh nor bone, but I'll be on you when you're dead. What am I?
And just again, like without giving herself fingernails, nails.
Oh, she claps her hands. Yes, you're smarter than I thought.
Well, I guess I got flustered on the first one.
It happens. You did say you got knocked around.
He did.
Running with
bit.
Marco and Rolo will do that to you.
How do you know their names?
Well,
Thank you.
I know lots of people in this forest. I know who to avoid and I know who to trust.
In my best imitating voice of the two, I'll say, "Oi, she said not to come back until we had 6." And then I look. Who's the she's speaking of?
Oh, I have some ideas where that might be. Now, if I can give you my third riddle, you're right about the nails. I'm a family of sisters 3, one in the forest, one in the sea. The third's in a mine, hidden from the sky. But all of us, we've only got one eye. What are we?
Oh no.
She says, "Oh no."
Ammon, as you're watching her with narrowed eyes, you see as she gets excited about his correct answer, for just the briefest moment, the skirts, the back of her skirts kind of lift up, and this cow tail kind of flicks out for a second, and then swishes back under the skirts.
Is it?
What?
What was the first one? Iron?
Iron.
Nail?
Nail.
Shall I say the third again?
Yes, please.
Oh. Have you had, well, okay. I'll try to be patient. You're very kind, and I'll try to be patient. I am a family of sisters 3, one in the forest and one in the sea. The third's in a mind hidden from sky, but among all of us, we've only got one eye. What are we?
Maybe, yeah.
Mert? Anything?
No clue.
Totally dumbfounded. I've never heard this one.
The ghostly lady over there, I never caught your name, but you seem like you have a great idea about what it might be. What is it?
Laura's got a book out, and Lysander is just like leaning, and he's like, "Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not the
I
Family Feud.
I think
Good
she could
answer.
probably answer all 3 of them.
Oh, well, try the third, and then we'll see what you get for the first.
Well, that makes me think of like a coven or a hag.
Yes, you're right. You're right. So what was your guess for the first?
Iron.
Iron. Very good, very good. And she claps her hands. She's like, I have lived alone in these woods for more than 20 years. Ever since that bitch, Iron Tavia, killed my husband. Took my beloved Naboa to her cottage, and he died there, giving her a daughter. And she spits. I've hated her ever since, but her defenses are too strong. Creatures of shadow are her allies, and she commands magic far beyond my ken. If you promise to hunt her, and kill her if you can, I'll ensure your path to her cottage. Give you a weapon that will make your task a bit easier. I've been waiting for this moment for 20 years, and here you are.
Well,
And I just
I'm
like
gonna
take
be-
another bite of the apple and like that awkward, like everyone else is like, I'm just
well, to be completely and forthright with you, that's what we're here for anyways.
Oh, then I believe it's fate that we met tonight. And Erastil must be looking down on me right now. Praise be. If that's the case, then I would help you. You're already on a mission, but, well,
But it's the same one.
yes, and I'm a person of my word. And with that, she kind of nods to the edge of the clearing, where just out of the reach of the firelight, and you see 2 yellow glowing eyes like come forward, and then into the campfire light comes a wolf, trods right up to her and sits at her feet, and she starts kind of petting it, and he drops something out of his mouth, and she reaches down and picks it up. It's a book, and sorry, and she takes like a napkin or some kind of cloth out of the basket of apples and wipes the book off from the wolf slobber. This is the Hunter's Hagbook, and it may give you some tools to help you hunt down Iron Tavia and bring about her end. And she won't trap and force men to give her children and continue to poison this wood. And Erastil's glory may slowly return, in fact, to this part of the Axon. Here you go. She hands the grimoire to the closest character. I'm guessing that Ophelia, you would be the closest to her. The rest of Iron Tavia's coven dwells far beyond my sight. Nevertheless, she wields potent magical curses. This book might protect you, and the spells within might help ward against her designs. I'll also offer to give you each a bit of luck. I'll have to touch you to do it, so it's up to you. I won't touch you if you don't like. But if you do, I'll grant you good luck. It's up to you.
I'll go first. Because I don't trust her, but I don't want her to hurt anyone else.
Oh, dear. Oh, well, okay. I did say I had to touch you, didn't I? All right. Fine. So she comes up to you and she gently lays a hand on your cheek, and she kind of grimaces as she does it. You are willing, so you don't have to make this saving throw. I will choose good luck, and anytime you roll a d20, you can, within the next day, you can roll twice and take the higher result.
Okay.
And so she tells you, like, this will grant you in your darkest moment a bit of luck. Mechanically, it's advantage on a roll.
Right.
I'll take an apple and come over. I'll go next.
Oh, dearie. So you have the apple in one hand. She holds your hand with the other. Thank you. And she grants you the same boon.
I finally get my apple incorporated and enjoy it. But can she touch me? With a touch spell, I think? Maybe?
I can do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Schmancy.
Do you want to?
It's fine, guys. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'll step forward and.
So she does the same thing. She's very, like, she has to think about it, about how best to do this with someone of your form, but then manages to reach into you, and you just feel this brief tingling sensation as her fingers pass into your ectoplasm, and then she passes her hand out, I should say, and giggles a little. Oh, well, I tickled a bit. Anyone else?
Laura will approach slowly and like, well, I guess you could touch Mert, so.
I mean, you don't have to take it if you don't want. I won't be offended. You were so good at the riddle game. But I'm happy to pass this on to you.
Okay, you kind of remind me of someone, but.
Oh.
So that's.
I hope it's someone that you found dear.
Yeah, I'd kind of forgotten about her.
Oh.
But yes, I think it. Let's do it.
Fantastic. And she gently, like, strokes your cheek, and it just kind of passes into your face for just a moment, and that tingling sensation passes through you, and she gives another giggle. Oh. Well, I suppose that leaves you.
I'll offer you a trade.
Oh dear. You don't have to.
Oh, I want to. But I would like to give you something in return.
Oh, all right.
I would
Tentatively.
like to read your fortune for you.
Ooh.
Oh. No one's done that in quite some time. Oh, what are those?
And he reaches around and pulls off a bag off his hip, and he says, and he just kind of shakes them and then throws them onto the ground.
Oh my, are those bones?
They are indeed.
Oh.
I'm going to roll lore fortune telling.
Okay.
And I am not necessarily trying to a premonition of whether this thing she's given us is good or bad. I more want to just kind of set, is the mission we're setting out to be on, is it tentatively set to be like a success? I'm just kind of reaching really far into the future for a very vague kind of thing. She's obviously impassioned about it. She killed her husband, and I want to give her the fortune that we are going to be successful, or whatever that is. So that's what I'm after.
Sure, roll it up.
Ooh.
You're not supposed to make those noises.
23.
Ooh. Oh, okay. So as you're rolling the bones out, and you're getting this vision.
Mm-hmm.
You see a stone cottage surrounded by weeping willow trees, shadowy figures you can't quite make out working in the yard or field in front of the cottage. You see and then darkness, and then out of the darkness you see a long clawed hand with incredibly long claws made of iron clutching at you, and then it vanishes.
Sure.
And then you fade out, and as you fade out, you see that stone cottage with no shadowy figures, and almost as if nature is starting to reclaim it.
Sure.
And you feel that, yeah, if you take this moment, that the fates have collided here, and yeah.
Sure. So, being from Mekatar, and being that's the capital of Geb, Lysander has probably never seen a weeping willow tree.
Interesting.
That's true.
And
Probably
so,
not.
well, just for validity, right? So she said she could take us kind of to where the area is that the cabin is in. So, right in what she was saying, right, kind of in that general area.
I'll point you on the
right?
path.
Yeah, sure. He throws the bones, and he reaches up as she's gonna bless him with the good luck, and he says, "I've never seen those trees that look like they cry when the wind blows, but I assure you that nature will reclaim them and set that cabin free."
Oh, you saw her cottage? The weeping willows.
And then he kind of shakes his head, and it's like he doesn't know what he just said.
I do think that this moment had to be. Like I said, I've waited 20 years to avenge my husband. I never had the wherewithal to do it, and the rare woodsman that makes it this far into the woods usually meets their demise. But you've had the strength to make it this far. I believe you're the ones to finally bring justice for Naboa.
If it is any consolation so far as well, one of these children of hers, I believe that we've taken care of at least one of them. Kepgetta the Hag-Nailed. We slayed her in a brewery.
Well, that's all well and good, I suppose. How old would you say this Kepgetta was?
Not nearly as old as a hag. What would you guys say? 30s?
She was about 20.
Probably 20-ish.
Then I'm glad you put her down. I don't like to say such things, but I'm glad. I'm glad you put her down. And she's petting the wolf as almost she's seeking comfort in the wolf's fur.
Well, she did seem devoted to her mother, so she had to go.
Well,
There are things that she's connected to that go far beyond this wood, or even beyond the borders of Geb. That's why we're here.
well then, justice on several levels will be served. Aristal will be served, and Geb will be served. So that sounds like, well, a win-win situation.
Could you give me a quick religion to know a little bit about Aristal as you continue to mention her?
Are you trained in religion?
I am trained.
Then yes, you would know what you know about Aristal.
Right. Okay. Got it.
So if you'd like to share that, or whatever.
Not necessarily share a lot, but just kind of acknowledge that yes, we'll certainly do our best to appease both, or protect Geb and appease the huntsman for sure.
May it be so. May it be so. Well, I'm afraid that I've been a bit dishonest with you. I'm not lost. Not lost at all, but I saw your fire and I saw your numbers and I thought maybe I had a chance, and I was right. And now I must be off to home. I'll leave you with the rest of the basket of apples. I've got plenty back home.
Much appreciated.
And do be safe out there. And then Shield will spend some time basically putting you on a path, like giving you some general directions. And telling you, you look for this tree, look for that, be aware of this. You may pass by a small burial cairn. Just be wary. I imagine you would arrive at Tavia's cottage within a day or two if you stay on this path that I've prescribed. Study the Hunter's Hagbook. Silly name for a book, but it's a Hunter's Hagbook. And you'll find yourselves victorious over Iron Tavia. She spits again. But I must be off. Home's not far. I'll be safe. And her and the wolf get up, say their goodbyes, and start walking down the path. And as she's walking, her skirt kind of swishes again, and that bovine tail kind of swishes out from under the layers of skirt. And you can just make out where the dress falls along her back, between her shoulders, that her back actually looks like a hollow tree. What? And then she vanishes into the darkness, softly singing a tune as the wolf pads next to her into the darkness. And now that you're on the right path to Iron Tavia's cottage, we'll find out if you can get there and put an end to her next time.
Ugh.
In the
That's
meantime,
wild.
have a wonderful night at camp with your apples and practice your riddles.
I do have. We do have to, like, when we pick back up, it's got to be before we sleep, because I have something I have to do before we sleep.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, totally cool with that. So we'll catch us at nighttime as you guys process what just happened at the camp.
I'm not sure what the hell.
What a
that was.
bizarre
That's crazy.
interaction.
Never trust the Fae.
Not everything you see in
Don't.
these woods is as it seems.
Never accept food from a Fae.
Hey,
We ate
Never
that.
give them your name.
hey, my apple was fine. As far as I
Oh
know.
God.
She
It's
seemed,
going to
to
be
be,
fine.
she seemed to be quite comforted by the fact that Kepgetta was slain.
And red cats. Ah.
Yeah.
Well, they were brownies, but yeah.
Right?
But also they had red caps and iron boots. So yeah. So stay tuned. Tune in next week, I should say. Monday at 6:30 Eastern. We'll continue this story here. Tomorrow on this very same channel at 6 o'clock Eastern. Join us for the Soul Sever campaign. That's a homebrew campaign set in the homebrew world of Iota Dree, run by our seer. She has been working on this world for years and years, and it is a very expansive, fun, high magic world. That campaign is setting about to end a war between deities, so it's pretty serious stuff.
I have a couple things to do before that.
You got a couple things to do before you can get to
Yeah.
that, but as any campaign goes, right?
Vampires to
That's right.
kill.
You got to have a curveball. And then Wednesday, I'll be on Barnum's Brushes. You can find the link for that channel in the links below.
Yep.
I have. I want to thank everybody who came out and followed after they met me at PopCon. And because of that, and because of the continued effort of all those followers out there, Barnabas Brushes is now an affiliate channel on Twitch.
All right.
So thanks, everyone. So please tune in, and if you haven't already, follow that channel as well. And then Thursday, Overwatch might be streaming some games. Friday, we have potential critical knowledge dropping now that we're back from the con.
Yes.
And then just every week, boom, boom, we're right back at it with content dropping
right.
for you every weekday, almost every weekday, as we continue to have fun here at Elite Encounters. In the meantime, be sure to like, follow, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Subscribe there if you can. Really cool tiers with really neat physical rewards. Until then,
Yep.
good night.
So that means that somebody's getting a beholder.
Have you made that number yet?
I have
is-
not reached the 50
Okay.
follower
Oh,
milestone
okay.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, okay.
I
Well,
still
we're
have a few to
gonna.
go, but thanks for bringing that up. If I get 50 followers, I'll be giving that out. Details on Wednesday if you turn into Barnabas.
That's
Brushes.
awesome.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
Yeah.
great evening.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks
Had
for
a
joining
blast.
us.
Book
See
2.
ya.
Bye.
Good night.
That's so funny, failing all those. Well, also
Like a
in
tree cow? Like really?
in
A
an
tree cow?
undead
A
city,
tree cow?
Yeah, an undead city campaign. You're not like, ooh, everybody take nature and survival. And
Yeah,
then
what
you're-
the hell is that?
And then you're in the middle of the woods and you're trying to figure out what this thing is, and nobody knows.
I love that she like on the undead things.
Yeah.
But
And Mert had the
she's in
medicine.
Gab.
Mert had the medicine for that ailment, but we just had no idea what to do with those things.
Yeah, I was looking at everyone's nature and going, nope, they'll never know what's going on.
Never.
I don't even know if they could put up a tent.